604 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, off and running. Brian here with you. John LaBeouf producing. We're starting off your Thursday at 52 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. Got a busy Thursday show lined up for you. We get Haggai Davis coming in for a cup of tech gumbo about a half an hour from right now. We have got Jason DeCuir from Advantis Consulting joining us at 7:15. Looking forward to this. Jason will be on with us every Thursday throughout the legislative session, as he does. We do this basically every session, breaking down the money bills, and during a fiscal session, that's all the more important. Jason will be on at 7:15, 7:35, Crimestoppers with Lieutenant Don Coppola. And then in the 8 o'clock hour, one guest only. That would be Ag Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain. Starting off the show, though, you know how we do. Top stories and trending.
Number 5.
Yesterday, Governor Jeff Landry laid out his plans for insurance reform. Governor hosted a press conference at the state capitol yesterday in the fourth floor press room. Same place he hosted the press conference the day before for the economic development announcement, talking about the blue ammonia plant going to Donaldsonville. Anyway, the governor laid out a number of ideas, including one bill that was floated a few years ago that would limit advertising for trial attorneys. That one's coming back. The rest was about balancing out accountability and transparency from not just trial lawyers, but from the insurance world as well. We're going to break that down a whole lot more later on the show.
Number 4.
A Baton Rouge jury found Michael Haddon guilty of molesting 3 foster kids Wednesday afternoon. The trial was, 3 years in the making and about 2 hours worth of deliberation, if that. Haddon's sentencing is slated for April 28th.
Number 3.
A 16-year-old was formally charged with murder yesterday in the killing of a Scotlandville High student. An indictment filed April 9th says teenager Percy Jones faces a second-degree murder charge. Police said Jones was allegedly waited for 17-year-old Anthony Robinson to get off the school bus at the Village Green Apartments back on March 10th and then gunned him down.
Number 2.
After over 12 years of service to Breck and the East Baton Rouge Parish community, Breck's superintendent, Corey Wilson, has announced he will not seek renewal of his employment contract, which expires at the end of this year, or on January 31st, 2026, I should say. The announcement, made in advance of his contractually obligated 6-month notice, allows the Breck Commission ample time to conduct a national search for the agency's next leader.
Number 1.
Yesterday, Bessie approved the Freedom Framework Diploma Endorsement, a new recognition for high school students who demonstrate excellence in civics education. It'll begin with the 25 to 26 school year. Eligible students will receive a special diploma seal and a red, white, and blue honor cord to wear during graduation. What's trending, John?
All right. Well, yesterday, Donald Trump announced a 90-day pause on most of the countries that would be impacted by tariffs. Markets responded with remarkable comebacks.
Yeah. I mean, like, not historic, but top 5 type historic days.
Yeah.
For S&P as well as the Dow. I'd throw the NASDAQ in there as well. It bounced back too. But man, yesterday was like, is everybody but China.
Yeah.
Everybody but China. You're cool.
Yeah. That's to be expected though, right?
Wasn't expecting to be this, like, because that tariff now, when you add them up between the two sides, is now about 125%.
Yeah. Oof. In other news, Kash Patel has been quietly removed as the acting director of the ATF. This in no way affects his role as head of the FBI, though.
So I saw that story yesterday and didn't realize he was holding down both still.
Right.
I thought he'd completely moved over.
Yeah, and so what I found through like a bit of research here is that there was just too much on his plate.
Yeah,
it's just too much on his plate, and had nothing to do with job performance or anything, but just I guess juggling too much.
Okay,
I guess. But he hadn't been. I read that he hadn't been seen inside the ATF facility for a couple weeks.
Okay, well, the headlines make it sound so scandalous.
Yeah.
Kash Patel removed.
Right.
What did he do?
Quietly removed at that, you know?
Yeah.
And you wonder. Donald Trump is making showers great again, Brian. Yesterday, the president signed an executive order to remove limitations on water pressure from shower heads.
Oh,
This is
the important stuff. He's knocking out the important stuff.
That's right. That's right.
I was tired of getting, it never affected. Did it even affect us here? I don't think we
I don't
had
think so.
any kind of low flow shower limitations or whatever.
No,
I don't think we had that here. So I guess
Man.
in other parts of the country,
Oh, maybe so.
big news.
Yeah, big news for sure. You hate him for the tariffs, you can at least appreciate him for the shower.
Exactly.
The water pressure, right?
Exactly. We're at 610 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Let me take just a quick minute to remind you about the folks over at the Baton Rouge Metro Airport. Do you have business in our nation's capital? How do you go about getting there? FlyBTR.com. We've got a direct flight right out of our airport. Flies from us to Reagan National, then comes back home same evening. Get your business done same day. Don't even have to stay over in the nation's capital. And you can do so with the Baton Rouge Metro Airport. Now, the DC flight, not the only one being offered up, but it's one of many great opportunities to make it that much more palatable to not have to drive down the road for an hour whenever you're flying anywhere. Check out the options, check out the flights, check them out at flybtr.com. Flybtr.com, not just for business travel, your personal travel as well. Mapping out this summer vacation with the fam. Give them a good look at flybtr.com. Quick break. We'll talk sports next.
Test. Mic check. Again, it says we're cutting in and out.
All right, let's try and bang through this a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. See what we got going on here. I'm not cutting out at all.
Hey,
Good morning. I know we missed some stories last week. I just don't remember what we missed.
That cut for the next segment. 6.4.
First floor.
Is there any in the cabinet? It might be. Oh, it's not. It might be in the basement. Okay.
Oh, we don't have it up here, do we? No, we don't. Oh, okay. 6:14 to talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Sports time. You heard it right here last night. LSU softball was back at it at Tiger Park, hosting the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. I guess on the women's side, remember when they were the Lady Texters for a while? Anyway, hosting Louisiana Tech last night. Beth Torina's Tigers, absolutely no problem. 9-1, your final score, as LSU just rolled right on through them. And they got out to an early lead and just held on to it. Louisiana Tech scored 1 run in the top of the first, and then LSU posted up 4 in the bottom of the first. And it stayed 4-1 all the way up until the 5th inning when LSU picked up another run, and then closed it out with the run rule in the 6th inning by putting up 4 more. Here's how it sounded when that final run crossed.
2 balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch. Line drive, base hit, right field. Ball game is over. And the Tigers are going to beat Louisiana Tech 9-1. That one actually made it all the way to the fence. But all you get's that 1 run in front. Leno drives in the game ender. And in 6 innings, LSU a winner by a final score of 9-1.
We saw last night 1, 2, 3 different Tigers have multiple hit games. Tori Edwards had 2 hits. Mackenzie Rudity had 2, and Maddox McKee had 2 as well. This Tiger team put up 10 hits on the night to get to those runs on the board, and 10 hits on the night to put up 9 runs. There was 1 home run on the night, and I'm trying to remember the name of the girl who hit the home run. Bergeron. Issy Bergeron was the one. She had a 2-run home run back in the 1st inning. So LSU softball moves to 35-5 on the season. They will be on the road this weekend in College Station, in Bryan College Station, to take on Texas A&M. 3-game series. Your first game will be tomorrow night at 6 right here on Talk 107.3 FM. Your second game will be Saturday at 2, also right here. And then that series will wrap up on Sunday with a 1 p.m. start time. Meanwhile, over on the baseball front, baseball is taking a minute to load, is what baseball's doing. Baseball is also on the road. Jay Johnson's Tigers are 31-3 overall. They got another 3 games before they come home. They are at Auburn this weekend. Cade Anderson and the Tigers will take to the field tomorrow. Well, I shouldn't promise Cade Anderson because we don't know starting pitching rotation. We don't know the actual lineup yet, but Cade's been the Friday night guy thus far. Tomorrow at 6 on our sister station, Eagle 98.1. Then Saturday at 6, also on Eagle. And then Sunday, you'll have a 2 p.m. start time for the LSU baseball Tigers. It is springtime. Springtime means spring cleaning. Get rid of any dirt, grime, mold, algae, mildew, anything that's built up on your home, anything that's built up on your roof. And you do so by hitting up the folks over at Cajun Soft Wash. CajunSoftWash.com is the website. If you've got any questions about their processes, if you've got any questions about how affordable, effective, safe it is, CajunSoftWash.com is where you want to go with all that. And, oh, by the way, they're not just here for your home, they are here for your business as well. If you check them out at CajunSoftWash.com, learn a lot more about how they go about doing what they do. It's a safe and effective process. The chemical mixtures they use are, like we said, completely safe, but more to the point, completely effective. CajunSoftWash.com. We're going to talk about the governor's press conference in our next segment, but I'm going to take a bit of a different tact. If you've been following any of the news, you probably already know a lot of the details to come out of the press conference. And as we are still ahead of the legislative session, how these bills stack up is still going to be left to question just a little bit. Who's going to get what? That'll all be determined a little bit later. But there was a bigger theme, I thought, to the press conference yesterday. It wasn't really emphasized in the presser, but it was something that I took away. So we'll talk about that next. Don't forget Haggai Davis coming in for our Cup of Tech Gumbo at 6:35, and we are rocking and rolling. The voice is on the way back. Voice is definitely on the mend. I know I still sound awful, but this is 1,000 times better than where it was at yesterday. So we'll just keep plugging along. We got the Fox Business Report coming your way right now in about 10 seconds. I'll check traffic on the back end. And yeah, let's talk about insurance reform and a bigger theme coming from the governor's press conference yesterday. That's next. Oh. Who? Oh, man. He's not ready to hang it up, is he? Yeah. I like Corey, but he needs to lose this, though. Breck needs to belong to Baton Rouge. I don't like anything where you've got to run through the state legislature to have permission to run the city. Right. Like I was talking to Mary Stein the other night, and I was like, "Why? That's why she got picked. That's why the libraries got picked on because Baton Rouge controls the libraries. Like, if the mayor could have gone after everybody equally, he would have gone after everybody equally." Who was the woman that asked the question about volunteering up like $20 million? Or no, Corey put the number 20 million on it. Who was the woman that asked the question about, isn't it y'all's job to be to responsibly step up and say, we don't have to do this, like constitutionally, we don't have to do this, but we would like to contribute back. So here's blah, blah, blah. It seemed like a smart question, but it's really a stupid question because it's unconstitutional anyway. It was very much a speech, yes. And if my voice wasn't hurting so bad, and I never ask questions at the Rotary, it's not my. I'm not there to do that. But Corey said, nobody's come to me and said, Corey, will you put up $20 million from Breck into the Baton Rouge budget? Shame on the entire room that the next question wasn't, Corey, will you put up $20 million? Oh, wait, I got to do traffic. Understood. My new one is supposed to be arriving today. Okay. Heading on back to the Shaw Mills Tire Traffic Center, getting a good look at what's going on this morning. We hit some problems on I-10 yesterday. That is not the case today. 10 westbound coming in from Ascension Parish looks fantastic. 12 westbound coming in from Livingston Parish. We have your normal delays right by Range Avenue. Outside of that, we're looking good there. 10 eastbound coming in from West Baton Rouge Parish, also good, and so is 110. Getting a look at your surface streets real quick, seeing what we've got cooking over there. There's only one accident to report right now, Monarch at Plank. It is, however, off the roadway. So that's the only thing on the board, and even that shouldn't be a problem. BRPD is working it, and they've been pushed off to the side. So that's your look at traffic from the Shaw Mills Tire Traffic Center. You do have this cut, right? Okay. $624 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Oh man, I can't tell if the voice is going to tank again. If it's just going to go downhill. I'm not saying I'm starting to feel a little bit questionable, but man, I'm looking at that rundown. Thank God for Mike Strain. You know how it is. Yeah. When Dr. Strain's in the house. I can just say go.
He's gonna carry that.
And
8
yeah,
o'clock
I
hour.
know he does it every time.
He's gonna come in and just
He's
carry it.
break time for me. Oh,
Love it.
and special little treat. I haven't told anybody about. Haven't told the folks from the Strawberry Festival. Strawberry Fest is this weekend, right?
Yes.
So they're coming in. They're going to be in today. So we get all kinds of fresh Louisiana strawberries today. It's going to be awesome.
Sweet. Yeah.
But I'm supposed to interview them at the same time that Dr. Strain's on. And
how's that gonna?
I'm stepping. Look, before my voice went south, I decided I'm going to let him interview them.
Oh yeah.
Why would I want to stand in the way? I have expert level knowledge on the questioning side. So
absolutely.
I'm just going to step out for about 6. The only thing I have to do is like step back in to make sure we get to Your Money Now on time.
Right.
That's about the only thing I'm going to have to do.
All right.
Other than that, we're going to have, I wonder if Dr. Strain even knows that he's going to be in charge of questions here. Probably should have hammered out some. I might type out some questions just as a guideline, but I feel it's insulting. He's our ag commissioner.
Oh man.
He knows better than I do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying like I know anything. I mean, I know how to eat strawberries. I know how to dice them up and put them in a different version of a ranch water that my wife and I enjoy so much. But
yeah,
like, he's the egg. He knows all. He knows all.
That's it.
All right. Yesterday, Governor Jeff Landry introduced the topics that he'll be focused on when it comes to legal reform and insurance reform in the upcoming legislative session. I was there, second row, first seat to his right, both metaphorically and physically, apparently. He did spell out a number of ideas for the upcoming session, including limiting ambulance chasing style advertising, increasing transparency for not just the attorneys, but those who set insurance rates, why and how, and a handful of accountability measures as well. Now, in the days to come, as we start to read more and more on the individual legislation, we'll break down all those, talk to the authors of the bills. We do this every legislative session. We talk to the people who write the bills. I mean, if they're writing what's going to, shape our lives and affect our lives, we're going to have the conversation right here. But for this segment, I want to take just a minute, 4 minutes, for a reminder of something that I say probably too often. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. This cut runs about a minute and a half, and it comes from the governor's opening remarks yesterday.
As we began last year, poll after poll said that the top concern of Louisianians at that time, last year, was crime. And so we focused on it. We dealt with education. We dealt with the economy. And we also, at that time, dealt with insurance. We made great strides in public safety, educational reform, and we currently, right now, have historic economic activity. Again, just yesterday, in this very room, we announced a $4 billion expansion here in the capital area that lays on top of the $6 billion expansion we announced at the White House 2 weeks earlier. It goes further 2 weeks before the $18 billion expansion that we announced down in Plaquemines Parish, making that site the largest construction project in North America. Those are historic mile markers for our citizens. They bring great permanent jobs with high incomes that start to elevate the average income of Louisiana families. We passed dozens of bills last year because we also focused, as I said, on insurance, and we passed dozens of bills that we were told were going to lead to lower rates. That is more than any other governor has done in the first 6 months of his or her administration. And yet we stand here today seeing very little improvement.
Because we've yet to focus on it. We've yet to give it our full attention. He talked about fighting crime. Well, there was a special session on crime. And Troop NOLA has been a success. He talked about education. Well, Kate Brumley's cock of the walk nationally. Like that guy, I mean, he can't walk into a room without, standing ovations. I'm being hyperbolic, of course. But you look at where our numbers are at educationally, Kate Brumley is a rock star right now. He mentioned the economic development front. Susan Bourgeois, a little turn and burn economic development coming, win after economic development win over the last year. And yeah, all this has been under the Landry administration. But now, this year, this session, it's looking like the honeymoon is presumably over, because we're going to get down to the point where our Republican governor is on the opposite side of a lot of Republicans when it comes to how to fix insurance. So as we ramp up to Monday's gaveling into the legislative session, I think it's important to take that wide angle lens, that put the drone up in the air and give it a good look down, to say we've got a lot of wins already under our belt. This one's going to come slower. It's going to be more methodical. Much to Moon's chagrin, you are going to have to take steps in the right direction in order to get there. You don't just plant on the goal line. But it's worth noting that we have a number of reasons to feel positive about the possibility of actual change occurring, because we've seen it in a number of other areas already. It's 6:30. Here's news. Well, we got the half of that. Throw away a lot of good writing there. Damn it. All right. What did we come up with? Yeah, I saw the Microsoft thing. I just didn't know if it was going to carry for 2 full segments. Yeah. Well, yeah. Just all 50. Let's try it. Let's roll it out there. And good morning, Christy. Welcome in, sweetheart. I assume she's in. We were going to get to that one later on in Crimestoppers. I was saving that story for Crimestoppers. Yeah. 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 Oh. Oh, sorry. Not fun. All right, time to get a look at your forecast. Here's WBRZ meteorologist Emma Kate Cowan. .637 Talk 173 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. All right, you know how we do on a Thursday. It's time for a cup of tech gumbo. Welcome in, Haggai. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great.
I appreciate you reaching out yesterday to about pinch hitting and whatnot. I powered through, but duly noted that that help could have been on the way. So,
Well, I mean, you're my friend. I want to take care of you.
I appreciate it. It was bad. Have we not gotten technologically, like, I almost wanted to like Stephen Hawking the show, that might have actually been better. No, that would have been better.
You could have cut Chat GPT to do for you.
Yeah, no doubt. All right,
Wouldn't have been as good because it's not AI is not as good as you are, but
yeah, but yesterday I was nothing. I had
I know
no voice. I couldn't. We had economist Dr. Scott Burns on. I wanted so badly to argue with him, and like I would open up my mouth and nothing would come out. Just and then like I either sounded like RFK or Jesse Ventura for the rest of the show. So, and I didn't even sound like Jesse Ventura. I sounded like comedian Will Sasso doing an impression of Jesse Ventura.
it was tough listening.
It was it was equally hard doing so. All right, we got some stuff to talk about today, not the least of which is Microsoft is turning 50. That makes me feel old.
April 4th, 1975, when Microsoft was started.
All right.
Their headquarters in Redmond, Washington. Actually, Microsoft was actually started in New Mexico.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I don't know why, but for some reason, Paul Allen and Bill Gates, when they started the company, decided to start it in New Mexico.
All right.
And 10 years later, that's when they moved to Redmond.
Okay. And yet, like, neither one of those places is technically Silicon Valley.
No. Well,
So-
Redmond is up, that's where Bill Gates is from. I mean, he was in high school in the Redmond area when he met Paul Allen. And, that's why the company is back there now.
All right. Well, in celebrating 50 years of Microsoft, they've put out the 50 best things that Microsoft has ever done. So we're going to spend the next two segments having a little fun with and reviewing a few of the items along the way. I feel like number 50 is already out of rank. Number 50 should be ranked completely somewhere else, not at number 50. They put it number 50 first, so it's the first thing that everybody talks about. Number 50 of the 50 greatest things that Microsoft has given us, Clippy is number 50.
Yes. And originally it was named Clipit.
Really?
Yes. But everyone called it Clippy because it was just a more fun name than the goofy little paperclip that popped up with Office 97.
Hey, it looks like you're writing a letter.
It was not the first version of, or first attempt on artificial intelligence.
Kind of.
In a way, it kind of was. And it was bothersome after a while. It was cute the first time you saw it. It was okay after the first week, but then you just get off my screen. Let me do something here. It was just,
and there was no way to kill Clippy for good.
No,
because Clippy was coming back. It was like, well, Clippy to me was the precursor for everybody else who has the 24/7 service of how may I help you?
Right.
Like you log on, you hop on any website out there, and like let's say you're going on some, I don't know, maybe a national insurance company or something. They'll have the little digital, do you have a question? How can I help you? That's basically everybody has their own Clippy now.
Right.
So that's where that started, which is why I think as annoying as Clippy was, should be way, way higher up there.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
Clippy was much bigger. Now, there was one I wanted to mention.
Go
Number
for it.
48 is Contoso.
What the hell is Contoso?
See, now most people, if you've never dealt with Microsoft or understood or had to work, Contoso was a company that Microsoft created and it's a completely fictitious company, so that when they're giving examples, at one point I was a trainer for Microsoft Office back in 10, 12 years ago when people were just first learning how to use Microsoft Office. I was trained on how to go out and teach businesses how to use this, and they would use the company Contoso. Bob works for Contoso, and he needs to talk to Mary at Northwind Trading, and so that was just a personal little walk down memory lane to see Contoso.
Wait, so along with Contoso, it says if you've ever completed a Microsoft certification, you've probably come across Contoso, Fabricam, Northwind Traders, and Datum Corporation.
Yep.
Like none of those were real places.
None of those were real.
None of those were
all
real.
Of them completely fictitious companies, and it was just made so that when you're trying to learn or give examples or do any one of these certifications, they weren't going to mention Exxon or
right.
Dow Chemical or something like that. They had to come up or Coca-Cola or pick any real company.
Right.
They couldn't single somebody out. So they had to come up with completely fictitious companies.
Yeah. Where in the lorem ipsum did they come up with that one?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So that's what we skipped 49 now. I don't know. What is Microsoft, Bob?
I don't know. Some of these things were like, wow, that was kind of, this is going back into the 1990s and the mid 90s kind of thing. It was their home screen, and they had icons that popped up. It was, it looks, I don't know. It's just kind of an interesting little, kind of a pre-version of Word kind of thing.
Right. But it's do we remember Rover when Microsoft gave us Rover the dog?
Yes.
Yeah. Bob was like Rover belonged to Bob.
Okay.
So I think they were all living in Clippy's compound.
I got it.
So,
okay.
All right, let's skip ahead. I want to go to, they list Zune as number 45. Microsoft's brown Zune was one of the coolest looking gadgets ever released. Yeah, you heard me right. Its edges gave off this greenish glow effect that had never seen replicated in other products. And the Zune Pass, which lets you permanently keep a few songs each month, along with your all access subscription, was ahead of its time. The Zune was like, if the iPod didn't have pockets.
Yep.
Like it, because it can
Zune
only
was-
carry 2 or 3 songs.
Absolutely. Zune was iPod before iPod came around.
Right, but iPod so quickly outpaced it, and it was so like Zune was terrible compared to the iPod.
The Zune was clunky.
Uh-huh.
And Stephen Jobs said, okay, we're not going to do it that way. We're going to do it my way. And the little wheel on the iPod made it so much easier to use, and it was just a better product.
All right, we're still in the 40s. We're going to skip around with the list as we move forward, but we do need to take a quick break. Hey, before we take that break, got to remind you about the Dreams Come True Marathon going on right now at talk1073.com. If you would be so inclined, please visit talk1073.com. Make your donation today for the Dreams Come True Marathon. You can help local children, Louisiana children, and their families. They're battling life-threatening illnesses right now. You can help make a dream come true for them by making your donation at talk1073.com, courtesy of the Baton Rouge Clinic.
Thanks, Byron. Byron, that's one of the nicest things anyone's ever said about me.
What?
He said, I'm the yacht rock of tech.
That's a solid compliment.
There is something about Haggai's presence on the show that I find relaxing. He's like the yacht rock of tech. That's awesome. Yacht rock tech. I mean, there's so many things here that, paint and.
We're going to mention paint.
Yeah. I mean, HoloLens and Xbox. And when Windows 95 came out, that was such a game-changing thing.
Yeah.
Because I had the original, my first computer in 1992 had Windows 3. No, it had 2.0. It didn't even have 3. I had to upgrade to Windows 3.1 and then 3.14. 3.14 was the last version of 3 until Windows 95 came out. And it's like the Windows Phone. I loved the Windows Phone. I had one, and I was heartbroken when Microsoft pulled a plug on it because I thought it was better than the iPhone. And Solitaire.
I didn't realize Microsoft was responsible for Solitaire. Did not know that.
Yep. They built it into, was it Windows 95 or Windows 98? Because you had a little games section, and they had put that into, I think it was Windows 98. I don't know, somebody else out there might remember, but it was definitely, it was part of the Windows operating system.
I'm saying, if you're when we talk about Solitaire and you ask when was it 95 or 98, I'm saying, hey, if you work for the state, let me know, how long have you been killing time on this thing?
Actually, somewhere along the way, the state took all the games off the state computers.
Yeah.
Because there was too many people having that mental floss break on Solitaire for hours at a time.
Oh. That's Will Sasso doing Jesse Ventura. Let me mute this thing again. .652 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Cup of Tech Gumbo rolling right along as well. We got Haggai Davis in the house. Talk about the 50 greatest things that Microsoft has brought us as it's celebrating their 50th anniversary. We're going to skip past a few here, Haggai, because I want to make sure we get all the way to the top of the list here. So we'll skip past Comic Sans.
Yeah.
We'll skip past Microsoft Basic. We'll skip past Windows Hello and Word 5.1. We will skip past Windows Movie Maker. But let's go all the way up to Windows 1.0. This kind of got the whole ball rolling, and I mean, it's worth mentioning.
It really was. And so this came out back in the 80s, 1985, I believe it was. And it was the beginning of the graphical user interface for Microsoft. It was still very, very basic and not a whole lot you could do with it. I got my first computer in 1992 and it had Windows 2.0 on it.
Okay.
And then we upgraded to 3, and then 3.1, and then after that it went on.
Number 28 on the list, Paint.
This revolutionized so many things.
Oh, 1,000%. We don't have Adobe Photoshop if we never had Paint.
Absolutely.
That was the precursor of that, was putting the color over the color or removing something so that you had the background exposed. Paint was really underrated.
Absolutely. And it's so cool when you going through this list and seeing all the things that everyone takes for granted now. Well, of course you paint. I mean, it was just,
right.
But when it first came out, everyone was like, oh my God, look what you can do with this. And because before that, all you could do was paper and using Sharpies. I mean,
yeah, Paint made, it was the beginning of, you got into a lot more than just typing from there.
Oh, yeah,
so
absolutely.
Windows XP wallpaper. They mentioned this. I didn't realize did Windows do this, or was it just their version?
No, so the wallpaper would go to a silent after your computer had been paused for a certain minute, 5 minutes, whatever.
Yeah.
When all of a sudden you'd get the wallpaper would pop up, and you could change the backgrounds, and this was all revolutionary things that nobody had seen before, and everyone takes for granted all of these things.
Whatever would be on your screen in block letters, and it would like roll and bounce from corner to side to corner.
Or the little pipes and
remember the pipes?
Yes.
Oh, the pipes were awesome.
Absolutely. All
just
of those
spellbinding. You sit there, stare at the pipes.
Absolutely. I mean, things like and another thing that people don't realize, Solitaire was something that Microsoft came up with.
That was Microsoft. Microsoft came up with Solitaire.
They had a games feature in the early versions. I don't know if it was 95 or 98. If somebody out there can remind me.
You know who would know? If you're a state worker, how long have you been killing time on Solitaire? Was it 95 or 98? I bet you they would know. What was the other game they had? Was it Minesweeper?
Minesweeper, where you had to click on the little flag would pop up, or you hit a bomb and blew up. The Microsoft Ski, where you push the right left as you were going down the hill. There was a whole lot of those little time suck games that Microsoft built into the early versions of Windows 98. I know, and XP had that. I don't remember it before that.
All the way up to number 14 on the list. Microsoft certainly made a splash when it announced the Xbox Series X at the Game Awards in 2019. Crossing those streams is another phenomenal feat.
Yeah, Microsoft has taken several different shots at actually making hardware, not just doing software. And obviously, because Microsoft's been a software company since day one, but to get into making the Xbox, trying the Zoom, trying phones, trying the Microsoft Surface that I'm sitting in front of,
Yeah.
all of these different attempts that Microsoft has had to get into the hardware business because they wanted to put their software onto hardware devices and control much the way Apple did. Apple built their hardware and wrote their software to run on their computers. Microsoft kept trying to do that, and Xbox was their best version of that example.
During the break, you were talking about the Windows Phone.
Yes. I loved the Windows Phone. This was 2012, 13, 14 when it was available. I thought it was the best phone ever, but I like Windows.
Yeah.
So it worked well for me. When Microsoft pulled the plug on it and you had to go back into the iPhone or to the Android, I went back to the iPhone and I felt like I was going back in time. It was like I downgraded to go from the Windows Phone. And a lot of people will make fun of me and think that I'm crazy for that, but I thought the Windows Phone was a better operating system than iPhone.
It's okay. I thought the BlackBerry was going to last forever. So
Yeah.
is what it is. Number 10 on the list, and we've only got 2 minutes to go. MSN Hotmail. Oh man, remember the early days of message boards?
Yes.
Where you could troll everybody by creating as many different personas as you wanted, and it was as simple as just entering another Hotmail address.
Yep. And
Yeah.
because this was one of those early starts into the Yahoo Mail and you had Hotmail. If you didn't have, at Cox, at Bell South,
Right.
One of those kind of different generic inboxes, because this is long before Gmail had come around.
Yeah.
Hotmail was everybody go out and create, a dozen different Hotmails, and who can you pretend to be now?
That was amazing.
Yeah.
The early days, the classic days of trolling. We've got 1 minute left, taking you all the way up to the top of the list here. And I know we're going to skip Windows XP and skip Xbox 360 and Surface Pro and Halo. But number 1 on the list would be
Windows 95.
taking it back 30 years.
That was such a revolutionary software package when Windows 95 came out, because now the graphical user interface was smooth. It was
Right.
great. It was bold. It was exciting to watch and play with and use. And everyone takes for granted now how easy it is to use a computer. But to go from Windows 3 to Windows 95 was just amazing.
And it really is. This entire list is a great demonstration of how today we're standing on the shoulders of giants.
Absolutely.
He's Haggai Davis. Catch a full serving of Tech Gumbo Saturdays and Sundays right here on Talk 107.3 FM or wherever you get your podcast. Thank you so much.
You bet. And the one thing we didn't really get into was the whole Office suite. When Microsoft, instead of just having Word as a standalone, Excel as a standalone, Power, all of this, when you integrated,
when they decided they can make more money by packaging it.
Absolutely. And then, for the longest time, everything was all standalones. But when you could most people don't remember BPOS, the Business Productivity Office Suite, I think it was. That was the precursor name before Office 365. BPOS.
BPOS?
Yeah. How's that for a marketing? And
That's
so
terrible.
it was. And so having this little walk down memory lane with all these Microsoft products I think is just fascinating, because so many people today, flying toasters, absolutely. As a screensaver. Katie LeBlanc says, I still have a Hotmail address. I hope you don't use it, because there's so little security in that. Troy, I can't imagine how many Columbia House past due notices are in my Hotmail inbox.
That's and I didn't have a Hotmail address that was anywhere near connected to my actual name or anything. They were all like, I like beer at hotmail.com,
Yep.
I believe one of my email addresses was tackywallpaper at hotmail.com. And just go about trolling. I got it. Not going to reveal who, but I might as well. Caleb Klein-Peters says, I still use my Hotmail address.
Oh,
Yeah.
I hope not for anything sensitive, nothing important, or nothing that requires security. Because there's just not much security in those Yahoo mails and Hotmails and all the rest of them.
I'm sure it's as a backup. I'm sure it is. I still have my Yahoo email address. So, and I've got the app right there on the phone for Yahoo, for my Yahoo mail. Absolutely.
Nice. Going back to Solitaire, it looks like it was developed in '88, but wasn't released until '90. So it went on the Windows product line in 1990. Yep. It was actually developed by an intern, according to the interwebs.
Cool. But I remember they had a folder for games in Windows 95 and Windows 98, and you could sit there and play on those.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
That's cool. An intern did it in the late 80s.
Wes Cherry, apparently. The game was developed during the summer of '88 by the intern Wes Cherry.
I wonder what
what
Mr. Cherry went on to do.
Damn it. I'm looking for a particular piece of music from Blazing Saddles and I can't find it.
Alrighty. We'll take my yacht rock tech and move on.
It's funny. It's well phrased.
Oh, I love that. I really do.
I'm trying to decide where to go with the horses when Don's in. So it's either gonna be Blazing Saddles or that old rap song White Horse. If you wanna ride.
I can do the Nas X.
Oh, take my horse to the Old Town Road. Yeah. That might not be bad. Blazing Saddles is so over the top, though.
I get some credit for
you get credit.
Pop culture
That's a
reference.
very good pop culture reference.
Either that or Bonanza.
I had Bonanza. So when I thought Bonanza, that's what made me think Blazing Saddles. So it was a 1-2 punch right there. I think I would do the closing scene from Blazing Saddles, closing title. Thank you, Haggai. What about Three Amigos? That might have to happen. 7:05, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Hour 2 coming your way right now. Brian here with you, John LaBeouf producing, dipping down to 52 degrees to start off your second hour. Busy second hour we will have, as well as Jason DeCuir from Advantis Consulting going to join us at 7:15 to begin previewing legislation that we're going to see over the coming months in our fiscal session. Just as kind of a preview or bring you up to speed here. Every session, we make sure to have Jason on once a week. And we break down what happened that week and what's to come in the remainder of the week and whatnot. As he is an unbelievable resource to take you not just inside the Capitol, but inside the numbers that are inside the Capitol. Fantastic segment. I look forward to it every session. I look forward to it every week. During the session, we'll have Jason DeCuir at 7:15. Also, something I look forward to every week, and that would be Lieutenant Don Coppola and Crimestoppers. He's coming up at 7:35. We got a stack of stories to cover with Don, not the least of which brings us to Baker, which actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and hit up top stories and trending.
Number 5.
A story that the Sadvocate couldn't create on its own. Baker Police Department is looking to identify people who rode their horses through Walmart Tuesday night. Video posted to social media showed 4 people on horseback riding through the Walmart in Baker. Baker PD said they're working to identify the horse riders and that warrants will be issued for their arrests. Anyone with information is asked to call Crimestoppers at 344-STOP.
Number 4.
Or you reach out to Baker PD. Either way. Are charges different if you rob a Walmart on horseback? There's a nostalgia flare. There's a nostalgia play right there, right? A Baton Rouge jury found Michael Haddon guilty of molesting 3 foster kids Wednesday afternoon. Haddon had been sitting for 3 years waiting for this trial to happen. Had been delayed for numerous times, some of the times because of Michael Haddon's health. Well, didn't take long for the trial to happen, and now his sentencing is slated for April 28th.
Number 3.
A 16-year-old was formally charged with murder on Wednesday in the killing of a Scottsdale High student. An indictment filed back on April 9th says teenager Percy Jones faces a second-degree murder charge. Police said Jones allegedly waited for 17-year-old Anthony Robinson to get off the school bus at the Village Green Apartments back on March 10th and then gunned him down.
Number 2.
After over 12 years of service to Breck and the East Baton Rouge Parish community, Breck's superintendent, Corey Wilson, announced he will not be seeking renewal of his employment contract, which will expire on January 31st of next year. The announcement, made in advance of his contractually obligated 6-month notice, allows the Breck Commission ample time to conduct a national search for the agency's next leader.
Number 1.
Yesterday, Bessie approved the Freedom Framework Diploma Endorsement, a new recognition for high school students who demonstrate excellence in civics education. Beginning next school year, 25 to 26, eligible students will receive a special diploma seal and a red, white, and blue honor cord to wear during their graduation. What's trending, John?
Well, yesterday, President Donald Trump announced a 90-day pause on most of the countries that would be impacted by tariffs. Markets responded with remarkable comebacks.
Everybody but China.
Yeah.
Everybody but China take one
course.
step forward. Remember that scene in the movie Half Baked?
Oh my
where the guy's
God,
quitting
you
his
talk about a
job
throwback.
and he's like, bleep you, bleep you, bleep you. You're cool, bleep you, I'm out.
Right.
That was Donald Trump in reverse yesterday.
Oof.
The Donald Trump yesterday was, you're cool, you're cool, you're cool. Not you, China. You're cool, I'm out.
Oh, man.
Now, markets responded overwhelmingly. Awesome.
Yep.
What's going to happen in 90 days?
Mm.
What's going to happen in 90 days? May I make a bold prediction? He's going to go right back to the same playbook, only this time you're going to see a good like 75 to 100 nations have already made their own individual deals. So when he wants to like Jackson Pollock the world's economic front, you like that reference?
I like that.
When he wants to Jackson Pollock the world's economic front, there's going to be fewer splotches all over the map because we'll have more individualized deals hammered out.
And going back to China, I mean, he's getting 125% tax on them, citing
between
that,
their tariffs and our tariffs.
Yeah.
Dude.
And Trump says it's because of the lack of respect China has shown to the world's markets.
Fine. It's
wow, because China is imposing 84%
right
on U.S. tariffs. So Trump's like, you know what? I got you.
But like, it's basically a schoolyard fight at this point. You tariff me, you don't tariff. I tariff you.
Just back and forth.
You don't tariff me, I'll tariff you again. Can they just get together? Can Xi Jinping and Donald Trump just get together and make fun of each other's mothers?
Right.
I think that would be a much more civilized solution.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right?
Even like a rap battle.
Ooh.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
Settle things like that. Hey, in other news, Kash Patel has been quietly removed as the acting director of the ATF. This in no way affects his new role as the head of FBI.
Scandalous.
Very.
What
did
did Kash Patel get caught red-handed doing? Well, landing another gig. That's what's the peel behind the curtain right there.
Apparently just
what happened?
Trying to juggle too many plates here.
Yeah. And you know what? When you're the head of the FBI, you might want to concentrate on the FBI. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, why didn't he drop that gig when he landed the new one?
I don't know.
We're
narrowing
April
his
now.
focus, baby.
Right. We're in April now. You know? this isn't like you work at, he's not like delivering Uber Eats on the side.
Right.
It's the head of the FBI.
Keep your focus there.
So, how long have you been with Grubhub? Just leave the bag on the door. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh, man. In other news, Donald Trump is making showers great again. Yesterday, the president signed an executive order to remove limitations on water pressure from shower heads.
Are you a low pressure shower guy?
No, man. Give me all the
I got to
pressure.
have the fire hose.
Give me
man.
all the pressure.
Yeah.
God,
Knock me down. Rip my skin off.
telling you.
Yes. I need all the
Indeed.
water pressure.
And I will say this, living out in Livingston Parish, it is a bit different. Homa has just harsher water. So I'm coming from like just harsher.
The water's softer over
gritty.
here. Yeah.
Over there, it's just soft.
Do you know
like
why?
Well water, right?
Yeah, well, we come from an aquifer. I believe it's
Ah.
the Southern Hills Aquifer.
Oh, okay.
We have some of the best water in the world right
Yeah.
here in Baton Rouge.
Mm.
So down home away, I believe you're getting river water.
You're getting some grit. You're
Yeah.
getting some grit in that water.
But you're getting river water that's been cleaned, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
I
But
know.
no,
So
I
I know
mean-
New Orleans has river water. I don't know about Homa.
Yeah.
I don't. I shouldn't
It's
speak to
bayou
that.
water.
Yeah. Oh, gross.
Bayou water. Oh man. But no, apparently the water flow standard has been the same since 92, I believe.
Okay.
Under the first Bush, George H.W. Bush.
He's the one that implemented the low
Yeah.
flow.
And then
Not got that.
yeah.
Not got that.
Apparently requires shower heads not to pour more than 2.5 gallons of water per minute.
Okay.
Trump's ready to come in and
Trump just wants. Look. He wants the toilets to flush on overdrive. He wants the showers pumping out like a pressure washer. I'm all about it, man. He's making hygiene great again. Is what he's doing
that's it.
on all fronts.
Hey, like we said,
And
if you hate him
backs.
for the tariffs, you'll love him for the water pressure.
I'm
right?
telling you. All right, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, getting inside the legislative session with Jason DeCuir from Advantis Consulting next. Oh. Oh.
Water pressure makes all the difference. Because, like I
Yeah.
said, from that, I just started watching Ted Lasso, and that was one of the gripes that the team had was there's no water pressure. And what
Yeah.
does Ted do? Come in, fixes the water pressure,
That's right.
changes everything. Telling you. Let's see.
Oh, man.
So you were talking about songs earlier.
Oh,
Was that something for when Don comes in?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I got to find where you're forwarding it to. $29 seconds. Copy. Yeah. And yes, let Facebook hear it.
Okay.
And of course, I'll call for it. We're not going right into it.
Oh yeah. Of course, that is Jason on the line as well.
I figured.
I'm just saying.
716 Talk 1073 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Time to dig in on the legislative session, which begins next week. Been looking forward to this for some time now. We got Jason DeCuir from Advances Consulting on the hotline. How are you, sir?
Well, the question is, how are you, Big B, man? I tuned in yesterday and I was thinking, who is that filling in for Brian? And then I realized, oh, snap, that is Brian, man. Hopefully you're coming back, though, man. You sound a lot better than yesterday.
I greatly appreciate that. Yeah, yesterday was struggle bus, to be sure. If you really want to make fun of me, go to talk1073.com, pull up the interview with Scott Burns. And there were times where, and it was this segment yesterday, it was 24 hours ago exactly, where I would open my mouth and literally nothing would escape. It was the most bizarre thing. So,
well, I gotta, we both love sports. Sometimes you gotta play when you're injured, right?
Right.
And you fought through it like a champ, bro.
It's like James Caan said to Darnell Jefferson. I used a real name and a character name in the program. He says, "Are you injured or are you hurt?"
Yeah, that's right. Probably both.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Oh man. All right, we got a session starting on Monday. We're going to be a lot more hyper focused and directed as this segment wears on throughout the process. But I like to start off very open ended and just pick your brain. What are you looking at to begin with?
Well, obviously, Brian, as you know, and most of your listeners, our domain is tax, and we're going to be following and tracking all of the continuation of tax reform, if you will, and it just being a fiscal session and hundreds of tax bills being filed and sorting through those and trying to find kind of like kind bills and those that would be good for business and industry and those that obviously would not be so good. But we're going to be tracking every single one of the tax bills, plus potentially another shot or another rerun of what was known as CA2. And there's a couple options they're looking at that. But, if you're just asking me even bigger picture than that, I was listening to some of your show this morning, man, there are just some enormous issues that the legislature is going to have to deal with. And I know I'm not saying this because we're in another session, but I mean, when you're talking, insurance reform has to be dealt with, the fallout of CA2, not passing. You've also got the reformation of DOTD and what's going to happen with that and all the studies. And we know how big and important that agency is. So there is going to be a lot going on this session. And I fully expect, insurance reform to probably take center stage and, the tax stuff will be going on simultaneously.
We're talking with Jason DeCuir from Advances Consulting about the upcoming legislative session. All right, before we dive into any of the tax bills that are going to garner some headlines, I do want to start with how do you make up ground from the failure of CA2? Because there was a lot riding on that, Jason. There was teachers' raises on that, doubling for senior citizens.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
But and not to mention all the different taxing things within not taxing, but cutting, which you could do within the state government. If it had passed, we've been able to manage our budget so much easier.
Yeah.
But it came up short of the polls. A lot of folks say it was because it was just too all encompassing. I disagree with that, but let's assume that position. If that were too all encompassing, how can they go back during this session? I should say, can they go back during this session and take individual bites at the apple so that we can see some results?
Yeah, good question, Brian, and a lot to unpack there. I guess first, and I'm not going to get into all the reasons it may have failed. I'll let some of the political pundits handle that. But look, we know there was more than just CA2 on the ballot.
Oh yeah.
There was items dealing with criminal justice and other things, and from kind of the outside looking in, it just appeared that even some of the other amendments caused a lot of opposition, and the opposition was just vote against all four. So how much of that vote against all four was directly related at CA2?
Right.
It's hard to decipher. However, I agree with you that there were people saying that there was too much in there, and we didn't understand it all. But look, Brian, you and I both know this is not easy stuff to understand. And if you really parsed it out and broke up, let's say, a complicated subject like the inventory tax, or some of the other consolidation of budget funds, would people have understood it that much more? I don't know. And I mean, it just requires research and doing some of your own independent research and looking at what the legislature is trying to do and how this can move the state forward. But one of the things I'll mention is that as soon as that amendment did not pass Saturday night, my phone started blowing up, and there were some myths out there. One of the things was most people thought that the larger part of the tax reform package that was passed would not go into effect. They thought they blew up the entire tax reform package. Well, that's not true. Many of the pieces of what was known as tax reform went into effect as January 1st of this year, right?
Yeah.
So, people are having less withheld from their personal income checks. Corporate income tax rates went down. Personal income tax rates went down. The sales tax rate did go up. The franchise tax, although not eliminated yet, because it doesn't get eliminated until January of 2026, but didn't require a constitutional amendment, and that is going to be phased out. The only real tax piece, substantive tax piece of the package that required a constitutional amendment was the ability for local governments to phase out or have the option to phase out the inventory tax. That is the big piece that is still unresolved. And we also know there's a credit component of this piece because businesses pay the tax to local government. They turn around and ask for a credit back. Very complicated, unnecessary scheme. And the credit is set to expire. So I think going into this session, there's going to be conversations about how can we still look at phasing out the inventory tax and subsequently not needing the credit. And we are already seeing new constitutional amendments being filed to address the inventory tax. But it appears that they're going to have a couple of options going forward, and I do think they're going to revisit the non-passage of CA2. Chairman Julie Emerson has filed basically a repeat of Article 7 rewrite with just a couple of minor changes. One of the big pieces of opposition directly related to CA2 was the fact that a lot of the nonprofits did not like their exemption being moved from the Constitution to statute. It wasn't being taken away. It just didn't like that it was going to be moved. And it brought both conservatives and the other side of the aisle out to oppose it. They're now taking that piece out, and they've offering back up the full Article 7 rewrite. However, the second option is you can also see that they're filing these amendments separately. So there's a separate one on inventory tax, a separate one on government growth, and then there's a separate one of the consolidation of the education and budget stabilization fund. So they may look at breaking it out between 2 and 4 amendments as well.
We're talking with Jason DeCuir from Advantis Consulting, a little bit on how to pick up the pieces after CA2 fell apart at the polls. And, you know, the nonprofits and the religious exemptions, Jason, moving that from constitutional protection to statute, the way that was pitched to say, if you vote yes for CA2, church properties can be taxed immediately. I mean, it was a lie. I mean, I'm not even going to call it misinformation. The way that was posited in the public was it was a complete mischaracterization of what was actually going on. It was infuriating.
Yeah, Brian, you know sometimes how political campaigns go in Louisiana, and you know, particularly when you're talking tax change, it's so complicated, and nobody, not nobody, but a lot of people just don't realize everything that's in there, and they're believing everything that they hear out on the street or, you know, in small rooms and that sort of thing. But the religious stuff was absolutely going to be protected. I just think that the move from Constitution to statute had some people concerned, but the way that it was being described, what was not accurate.
We got Jason DeCuir with Advantage Consulting with us for a couple more minutes this morning as we're talking about opening up the legislative session next week. Let's get to a couple of the tax bills that are going to be in front of this upcoming legislature. I'll start with the inventory tax. How do they pick up? How do they pick up on that front?
So, Daryl Desautel, Representative Desautel, has filed a separate standalone constitutional amendment dealing with inventory, almost a repeat of what they were trying to do in the special session, but breaking it out. And again, this would give local governments the option to phase inventory out either over 1 year or 5 years, and the state would give them basically incentive payments in order to do that. They would also take the inventory tax and move it to statute, and that would allow local governments to reduce the percentage by which inventory could be taxed in a given parish. So basically, you're giving local governments now the ability to control the phase out or the reduction of that tax. Currently, that is protected in the Constitution. It is a protected tax, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And so local governments cannot really touch that tax or phase it out, even if they want to, until the Constitution is changed, giving them the power to do it. And then I call it kind of a companion bill to that. Representative Ken Brass, the credit that corporations get for paying the tax was set to expire in 2026. Well, because there's no way for local governments now to phase it out with CA2 failing, he's kind of putting in an extension, if you will, of the credit. It would not start phasing out until 2028, and it would basically phase out at 10% over a year. But that gives, if it doesn't pass, if the constitutional amendment dealing with inventory doesn't pass this section, it gives them another bite at the apple in 2027 before the credit would start to go away. So that's where the discussion is going to be. And I think everyone believes that, look, we got into this together, the tax and the credit. We should get out of it the same way, with the tax phasing out along with the credit phasing out simultaneously.
We got about a minute and a half left, Jason. I do want to revisit the moving the inventory tax to where parishes are individually in control of that. Is there an issue where that could fly in the face of economic development statewide? Like you would have a project on the hook that Susan Bourgeois is bringing in, but the potential site where the project would be could be held up by the parish controlling the inventory tax, as opposed to the state saying, we got you covered.
Yeah, look, I mean, as long as that tax is constitutionally protected, there is not a whole lot that even LED
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
Can do, but there are ways through what we call pilots, payment in lieu of tax. There are other negotiation tools that can be used. We know that we still have ITEP, industrial tax exemption, that can help mitigate some of the property tax burden. And then there are some other planning techniques that can be used, but the tax in and of itself can't be dealt with by the legislature or any agency unilaterally, as long as it's protected by the Constitution. And that is one of the areas, Brian, that just absolutely sets us back. And I think that's why the legislature is wanting to address it. And tax and inventory moving from state to state is just not a good policy.
No, absolutely. And if you're going to put a carrot on a stick, they got to want the carrot. So this would be a step in the right direction. Next time we talk, the gavel will have been slapped down and the session will be open. He is Jason DeCuir from Advantage Consulting. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, Brian. We look forward to it. Have a good one.
Always. You do the same. Here's news. How are you, sir? I'm well. Very well. No, I did not. The text said, do I have to come in tomorrow? Basically, Don, you heard that
Oh man.
My favorite text was more on the lines of, I hear you're feeling bad. I'm so sorry.
No, I know. I need to be fair. What the text actually said was, "Hello, I hope you get to feeling better soon. Are we still on for tomorrow morning?" If I'm being 100% fair, and then you even offered to bring me a hot toddy, I'm gonna run upstairs and get a throat lozenge real quick.
All right. Oh man. Couldn't you tell that I cared? It has had to come in.
You been good?
Oh yeah.
Well,
Oh yeah. Oh man. Yeah, that was funny.
can you believe the baker at Walmart?
Oh
Oh
man.
my gosh.
I know. I don't want to take too much thunder from because I know that's going to be a topic
That's
of
gonna be a
discussion.
topic.
But oh my goodness,
What are you thinking?
I mean, that's a bold move.
You know,
Like, what are you trying to What are you trying to do? You know what I mean? What's
you know, and we've done things, but never once
Of
has
course,
it crossed my mind. Oh my goodness.
get some buddies together and
Hey, let's go to Walmart.
go to
on
Walmart on,
horses.
on horseback. Mm. Yeah, that's. That's wild.
That was funny.
Thank you.
So what do you think it is? Just
Honestly, I think it's a combination of allergies and exhaustion. It knocked me down. I was down on Sunday. Like could not remove myself. Like I was a zombie. I could not shake the tired all day long. It felt like COVID.
oh. Well, hopefully that's not it.
No, I am burning the candle at both ends while holding it over another candle.
Oh, I got you.
These are pretty good. They got honey, lemon, and euthanasia.
Hey, that's the same combination minus the bourbon.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty much a hot toddy lozenge.
You taking any other medicine?
Just allergy medicine like Zyrtec.
You may need something stronger.
I don't know. The pollen's been really bad.
Yeah.
And you mix that with like my immunity being lowered by being exhausted. Yeah. All right. How's our forecast looking? Here's WBRZ meteorologist Emma Kate Cowan. I didn't think this through. .738 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along, getting the Crime Stoppers in exactly 60 seconds. Got to remind you about the folks over at Vex European. If you drive a European vehicle, Mercedes, BMW, Jaguar, Land Rover, you know the rundown. Audis, you know the rundown. Visit vexeuropean.com. Hit that little drop-down tab where it says vehicles, and you'll be paired with a master level technician for your vehicle. Vinny and his team aren't just out there just repairing cars. They are master level, expert level for certain types of vehicles. That's why they specialize with European vehicles. They started off doing just exotics, have broadened out, and can pair you with a technician who knows your vehicle inside and out. By the way, while you're on the website, hit up that little specials tab. See if we can't save you $100 on your first visit at Vex European. V as in Vinny, vexeuropean.com. They've been in business for over 10 years now, just celebrating their 10th anniversary, which I guess was last year. So they're over 10 years now. Hit them up at vexeuropean.com. All right, time for Crime Stoppers.
You wasted you wasted it.
No, it's good. I'm back in. What? Welcome in, Don Capola. How are you?
I'm good. Good morning. I could
Good morning.
hardly hear you. I'm sorry.
No, it's yesterday. You could hardly hear me for sure. Today's 1,000 times better than yesterday.
Well, good. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah, I'm definitely on the mend.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
We got a lot going on in Crime Stoppers.
We have a lot
today.
There's a whole lot.
There's a lot of ground to cover. Do you mind if before we get to your list, because I don't even know what's on your list, but I got one on my list.
Oh, I can imagine.
I'm gonna need some musical accompaniment with this one, if you don't mind, John. If you don't mind. The Baker Police Department is looking to identify people who rode their horses through Walmart Tuesday night. Video posted to social media showed 4 people on horseback riding through the Walmart in Baker. Baker PD said they're working to identify the horse riders and that warrants will be issued for their arrests. Anyone with information, they say contact Baker PD. I say call Crime Stoppers at 344-STOP.
Absolutely. That Crime Stoppers is the call you need to make. We have received some tips on this.
Oh,
okay. Yes. Identifying some of these individuals and you stop and you question, what are you thinking? Okay. John and I were talking while you stepped out, and, you know, we have done some things and some pranks or just not thinking, but never has it crossed your eyes, mind, or do we know of anybody who said, hey, let's get on horseback and ride through a major store?
No, I know. It's really pretty amazing, Don. When you stop and think about it, I mean, we have so much technology at our fingertips right now. When you consider calling 344-STOP, when you consider the P3 app that, and in the video the WBRZ used was somebody's cell phone, which could just as easily be uploaded to the P3 app, right?
Without a doubt.
So
100%.
we have all that at our fingertips, and yet the only visual I can have in my head is someone nailing a wanted sign to a tree because Nasty Canasta went rolling through the Walmart.
I don't get it, but 344 stop, P3 tips, that is your call to Crime Stoppers. You will remain anonymous.
Mhm.
Your information will be passed on to investigators, and if that information assists in the identification and or the apprehension of these individuals, you are eligible for a cash reward.
Remember Blazing Saddles when they were looking for all the villains to go raid Rock Ridge? Was riding horseback through Walmart one of the qualifications there?
I don't think it was. Not that I recall.
If they'd had Walmarts back then,
Maybe
it might have been on the
might have
list.
been, but
It might have been on the list.
and it's we joke about this, but
Oh, yes, we do.
the seriousness of what could have happened.
We joke about it because it didn't. That's
right,
right.
but and that's what we're thinking. If a horse had got spooked or who knows, somebody
Right.
kicked, somebody trampled, it could have been bad.
Yeah. And you can't get any real shopping done either because you literally can't put the cart before the horse.
There you go. Wow.
All that build up for that, huh? We took a journey.
Look, I got an
journey.
assist on that one, right?
All right. Every year when the Crime Stoppers numbers come out, we talk about the different types of crimes that y'all have been able to help solve. Hopefully, when the 2025 numbers come out, riding horseback through Walmart, we get 4 for 4, huh?
This is a first.
I can't wait.
All in my 31 years of law enforcement, this is the first. But
So good.
yeah, you never know.
All right. What else are we looking for?
So we're going to go
ruin the
back.
mood here?
We spoke about a Garrett Graffia who was wanted by Point Capee Sheriff's Office on some residential burglaries and violent crimes in other parishes. He was taken into custody.
Oh,
So that's always a good thing.
yes, it is.
So check out the Capital Region's Crime Stoppers Facebook. Baton Rouge police detectives are seeking the identity of an individual wanted for vehicle burglary in the 12,000 block of Lamargie Avenue during the early mornings of April
Really?
5th. It's a up close and personal picture.
Very much so.
You can't miss that. Somebody knows who that is.
Lamargie Avenue, though, this is the neighborhood I go off on all the time. That's that neighborhood directly behind Sonny's Barbecue.
Sonny's Barbecue.
Yeah, that's
Bel
it. And I
Air,
hate
La
to bring up
Bel
Sonny's
Air.
as if it's connected to that.
Yeah, it's not
But
connected.
yeah,
at
Bel Air
all.
High's over there. It's in between Florida and Choctaw.
Right.
It's east of Sherwood Forest Boulevard. But that Lamargie neighborhood, Lamargie Avenue is there. Tams Drive, Tamery Drive. What's the one that always has the North Harco? North Marcan. North Marcan. We see more shootings on North Marcan than anybody would actually care to. So I'm honestly a little surprised. Somebody's going to go burglarize cars on Lamargie. They'll shoot you.
They will. And we're not singling that neighborhood out. But we have seen more activity
A lot.
in that area compared to others. So check out the Crime Stoppers Facebook page. Check out the website. West Baton Rouge is looking for some individuals regarding a theft investigation. 4 individuals, 2 of the 4 have been identified. But
Okay.
we can't do this without the public's help, and we can't thank you enough, and continue reaching out.
Of course.
Know that you are anonymous, and that your information could lead to a cash reward.
You got a whole stack right there.
I have a stack. Look.
Stepping away from the Facebook page, which, by the way, Capital Region Crime Stoppers. Don't go look up Baton Rouge Crime Stoppers. Look up Capital Region Crime Stoppers, and you'll find exactly what you're looking for right there.
We mentioned Oscar Perry before. He's wanted by the East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office, 65 years old, on the charge of domestic abuse, battery, child endangerment, simple criminal damage to property. Investigators believe that he was at a residence, got into an argument with a female acquaintance, decided to jerk all of the computer plugs out of the wall, throw a desktop into a trunk of a vehicle, slammed it, caused damage to this laptop, and then started striking her in the face with a closed fist, resulting in bruising to her lip. So anyone knowing the whereabouts of Oscar Perry,
Oscar Perry, 65 years old.
65.
All right.
Baton Rouge Police is looking for a Malaya Carter, 23 years old, on the charge of theft and monetary instrument abuse. Investigators believe that she arrived at a local bank on College Drive and tried to negotiate a check for around $1,200. She did not have permission to have this check. It was altered. And so Malaya Carter, 23, wanted by the Baton Rouge Police
It's amazing
Department.
we still see check fraud.
We do. And
in 2025, with the security measures that are out there,
and
it's amazing.
The next one, Brian, Catrice Hebert, theft and illegal transmission of monetary funds.
See?
Same thing. So with that being said, let's remind the listeners to double check your accounts.
Yeah.
Make sure that these purchases, because most of everything is online now. Make sure that it is what you had purchased.
Right.
A lot of these scammers have they test the waters with purchases that aren't of great value at first, and they have become so good at scamming it make you believe that it's actually you.
Right. And 344 stop is the phone number, 344 stop, or download the P3 Tips app. Actually, if you're on Crimestoppers' website, you can submit your tip right there on the website. All of them are 100% confidential. Always have been, always will be. 100% confidential. Don, it's back to back with the check fraud. That's just it baffles me.
It really does. But it's it's
I don't
out
know the last
there.
time I had a check.
Well, and that's the thing.
Everything's digital, right?
Well,
and I
most everything. You
yeah.
still have businesses that have checks, and for whatever reason, but and some people just can't take the step to go digital. They like the old school way.
Yeah. No, I understand. And I'm always behind them in the grocery store line, but it just, with so much security built into the tech, and just to leave it open like that. I'm not victim blaming. Blaming, but and at the end of the day, they just ride off on a horse. So he's Don Capola. We do Crimestoppers this time every week. Always appreciate you.
Thank you.
Here comes your money now.
That was awesome.
Thank you. Sorry
you
if
need anything.
Sorry if I chewed up too much time with the horses. And what did you do while they were there? Like, they just rode around?
I mean, hey, let's take the horse to Walmart and hold it while I go get whatever.
Yeah. Well, there's no hitching post outside.
None.
They got this They got this blue poles. If they went from having blue poles to a hitching post, they would have left them outside.
Who knows what'll happen
now? This is Walmart's fault. Yeah. You can lead a horse to Walmart.
Hope you feel better.
Thank you.
Can't make them check out.
That's right.
Oh goodness. John always.
The four horsemen of rolling back prices. George Bell from the Capital Area United Way appreciated my pun. You can't put the cart before the horse. .755 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We got Ed Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain coming up next hour. We're really looking forward to that. We get the folks from the Ponchatoula Strawberry Fest coming in next hour as well. So, how about crossing those streams, huh? Between Dr. Strain and the Strawberry Fest? Yeah, that's on point. That's on point. If we can get, just bring somebody in to boil some crawfish as well, I think we'd just be completely set. Right? Got a lot of ground to cover before we get there, though. Do we want to talk about the OMV story here? Or do I want to give a shout out to Scott for putting me on this other story? Tell you what, we'll do the OMV story in just a minute, and then I'll tease up the other story because I don't know enough yet to really dig in. But got to remind you about the folks over at Mathern's. You know where to find them. They're downtown on 3rd, Street, back entrance on 4th Street, parking lots on 4th Street. But the front entrance to Methurns downtown is on 3rd Street. They are in the Nicholson Gateway Shopping Center directly across the street from Tiger Stadium. And they've returned home to the OG location on Highland, just west of Kenilworth Boulevard. If you're in the Kenilworth area, you remember the old school Kenilworth supermarket? Became Robear's. It's back. It's back. The Methurns has returned. Even when it was Kenilworth Supermarket, it was Methurns Supermarket, but just had the Kenilworth name. Now they're back. The family you missed, the prices you missed have come back home to the OG location in Kenilworth. Download the rewards app today. You can get the coupon sent to you every week. You get the weekly ads. You know what specials are going on. And, of course, you earn cash towards more groceries every time you shop at Methurns. At Governor Landry's press conference yesterday about his insurance package, the governor also announced a key development regarding ongoing issues of the state's Office of Motor Vehicles. A technical change was implemented last Thursday night to strengthen the office's aging mainframe, which has prevented some residents from renewing or obtaining driver's licenses for weeks because constant computer crashes were going on.
I know that many Louisianians have been frustrated. We issued a declaration of emergency in order to handle this situation.
So Landry reported that since the update on Thursday, the system has run smoothly. He praised interim OMV Commissioner Brian Adams, not that Brian Adams, for identifying temporary solutions and researching new technology to modernize the outdated system.
We're going to continue to work to stabilize and upgrade the hardware. And at the same time, we're choosing a replacement to convert to a new system. Remember, we've been on a system that was built in 1970.
And getting to the solution, I mean, it cuts like a knife. Landry also noted that the system had not been purged since 2008, potentially contributing to the widespread issues. The governor says he's glad to have come up with a temporary fix.
It continues to show Louisianians out there that we are completely capable of solving problems, and we do not like to kick cans down the road.
Now, while improvements underway, no specific timeline was provided for when the OMV system will be fully replaced. I will say this though, I'm pretty sure if anybody plans on traveling on a plane, you need to go see the OMV if you don't have your real ID yet. I'm in that number. So do I wait until this is completely solved? Do I go now and hope to get in line? What do I do? My passport is way outdated. So we'll continue to follow that story for sure. I tell you what, not enough time to tee up the next story. So we got a break. We got news, traffic, weather, this day in history, then Commissioner Strain. All right.
Get your passport and go fast.
Okay.
You can rock and roll anywhere. Whenever you get my driver's license.
Did Jen bring you up to speed?
On the Strawberry People?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I'm gonna step out.
No, you see? Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm gonna step out and I'll step back in when it's time to move on to Your Money Now. But when they come in, you're in control. It's your interview.
She didn't tell me that.
You're interviewing them.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
Good.
Oh
That'd
yeah.
be fun.
So yeah.
Good.
Figure what can I offer to that discussion that you wouldn't already have. So
Good.
defer to the expert as I always do.
We'll have a good time.
Yes, sir. I'm on the back end with the voice. I like yesterday I had zero voice at all. So
Happens to me too.
it's between the pollen and the exhaustion.
Need a little honey. You know, and
I just had a Ricola that has lemon honey and I think euthanasia. Is that right?
I would hope not. Yeah.
Echinacea.
Echinacea.
That's it.
Yeah. The euthanasia is kind of a tough drug.
That's yeah.
Why we keep it locked up? People abuse it.
What?
Those drugs?
Yeah.
Yeah. They break in the hospital. They will steal the euthanasia drug, and they'll put a drop of it in like a 16-ounce drink and suck on it all day. But it's got things in there to make you sick if you do that sort of thing.
I would imagine so.
No, it is. It's
Your
insanity.
body would reject it, right?
Oh yeah, you could. Yeah, that's insanity. But, you know, people hunting highs. That's not anything to play with.
Mm-mm.
When 100 cc's will kill a 1,200-pound horse,
Yeah.
it's bad.
Yeah.
Stuff. Yeah. So yeah, we keep that locked up, tight.
Do what? I don't need the salt today. Haven't dipped into the salt today. Yeah, no, I want to keep it in studio.
Now the salt is for your cold.
Yesterday I had zero voice, so
Really?
I was gargling salt water.
Garden salt water. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, you can use high quality Louisiana rum, high quality, and you mix it with good high quality honey, and it kind of kills the nerves. It soothes the voice, and you feel better. Dr. Tishner's. That stuff is potent. I think it's made with coal oil or something. Yeah. Phenol. It's made with phenol, actually. As an antiseptic, yeah. Uh-huh. So if you smell Dr. Tishner's, if someone comes in with Dr. Tishner's on their breath, are we being recorded?
Facebook.
Sorry. Yeah, it's Facebook. Well, it covers up a lot of things. Yeah, but I'm not man enough to gargle with Dr. Tishner's. I can handle Listerine.
My grandfather had it in
Everybody had it.
I just never. There was no way I was using it.
Yeah, whatever you needed it for, antiseptic wise, that was it. Yeah, it's been around since early 1900s at least. Yeah, when you open it, whoa, yeah, Dr. Tishner's. Like had a call.
I never knew it was meant as a mouthwash for the longest time because it was like, oh, you guys talking about wasps from they get caught.
It's antiseptic, powerful antiseptic.
And then I found out that's like a gargle. No.
Yeah, I'm never man enough to gargle with Dr. Tishner's.
No, it's like how when you peel crawfish, you find every paper cut you have. Yeah, you gargle with Dr. Tishner's.
You're gonna find
every flaw that's ever been in your mouth.
Yeah, but
you bit your tongue in 1982, it's gonna show up again.
Kills the nerves, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough when you talk for a living and you lose your voice. I gave a speech the other night and said, I got good news and bad news. Good news is I've been losing my voice. Bad news, I got good medicine. That highway's oh my gosh. They got to slow down.
Yes.
On that interstate. They're running 100 miles.
No, they can't though, because then Jay Leno is going to throw him in jail. Senator Luno.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's not throwing him in jail. He's putting a bill up this session.
To
where if you're going slow in the left-hand lane, you get fined. This is what Jay Leno wants to concentrate on. Yeah. Oh, what was the name of the park? And is it a state park? The name of the park we were talking about.
The best park in the state.
Yeah.
Talking about Indian Creek Recreation Area.
Indian Creek.
And it's not a state park because it's under me. It's recreation, but that's okay. But it's the best recreation area, quote, state park in the state because it's under the Department of Ag and Forestry. Indian Creek Recreation Area, and we will have an Easter celebration there as well.
Well, I will tell you why I'm asking. John and I were doing a bit on. There was a story in the news about RVing.
Yeah,
and I was doing a bit about how, like, of course, I've always wanted to RV, but I really like hotels. Like, I enjoy that whole John Steinbeck concept, right? But at the same time, I don't want to empty my own toilet. Like, so it was a funny bit. It was a good bit. Well, the owner of Miller's RV, he had like 3 or 4 people contact him saying, "You missed out on this. It was hilarious." I was talking about RVing on the radio. The owner of Miller's RV contacted me and said, "How would you like for me to loan you an RV for an extended weekend?"
Wow. Indian Creek.
Okay.
That's where you got to go. We got RV sites. It sits on a 2,400 acre lake. Indian Creek, the recreation area, is
Yeah.
2,600 acres. It's
What?
huge. The forest,
Uh-huh.
the forest is 10,000 acres.
Okay.
How big 10,000 acres is?
No.
Yeah. Well, on 640 acres is a mile each way. We have 7 miles of walking trails.
That's insane.
Oh, it's
right.
magnificent. And
806 Talk 1073 FM WBRP Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hour 3 coming your way right now. We've got one guest slated for let me be clear. We got Dr. Mike Strain slated for 8:15 through the end of the show. In the middle of that, though, the folks from the Ponchatoula Strawberry Fest are going to stop by. I don't think they know what's about to hit them. I'm going to step aside.
we're gonna have some fun.
Me with my poor voice over here. I need somebody with a full range and capabilities of vocal capabilities to step in
Full
here.
octane.
Yes. Not to mention, why would I handle an interview with the Strawberry Fest when I have the foremost expert right next to me?
I came in
So-
proper color.
And you did.
Strawberry.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely not a California strawberry when you're that
Oh
deep.
no.
No.
This,
They don't
this
get that
is
deep.
Ponchatoula
If you were
strawberry. This red.
yeah,
Yeah.
If you were in a white suit.
California, they'd be kind of pale.
yeah.
Yeah.
Full on white
no,
suit.
No. Full on white suit.
Can't do it. All right, so we got Dr. Strain in the house. He'll be coming up next segment. Right now, though, we got to knock out this day in history.
You look at those lakes, and they're full of fish. They're full of fish. Wildlife and Fisheries, their nursery is sitting over here, and they lean on that gate pretty hard and let them fish in there.
All right. Let's see. Taking it back here to 1815, Brian,
Why wouldn't you?
where Mount Tambora in the Dutch East Indies experiences a cataclysmic eruption, one of the most powerful in history, killing
Okay.
around 71,000 people and causing a global volcanic winter.
Yeah.
Global. Fascinating stuff.
Why
there.
not?
1887, U.S. President Abraham Lincoln's reburied with his wife in Springfield, Illinois.
Really?
Today. Yes, sir. Also, 1912. Okay, I'm sorry. I just got
We've all gotten
distracted
derailed.
by all the
Strawberries are in the building.
Ponchatoula strawberries. At
Yes,
that.
sir. All right,
Looking forward
focus,
to
man.
it.
Focus.
Sorry.
Focus.
1912, Titanic set sail from Southampton on her
How'd that
maiden
work out?
and final voyage.
Maiden and final voyage.
That's it.
Yep.
1925, The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald is published today.
Wait, what?
The Great Gatsby,
By who?
F. Scott Fitzgerald.
What
did I
did,
say?
what did Scott Fitzgerald ever do to you?
He's delusional.
Why?
I don't know. What's
Wait. He just said F. Scott Fitzgerald. Why would you say that?
F.
What did Scott? Why would you say F him?
You know what? It's too early for this.
It's Ted 2,
way
man.
too early for
It's a
this.
Ted 2 round.
Whatever.
It's a Ted 2 round.
I didn't
Come on, it was
see
funny.
Ted
All
2.
Go ahead.
They made a second one?
Yeah.
They did a prequel to that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going in.
Please.
1970
Oh,
music
size of that
news
thing.
here. Paul McCartney officially announces the breakup of the Beatles in a press release,
Good for him.
promoting his solo album.
That's how you promote a solo album.
What's some
The-
ASMR here?
The what?
Mm.
The
Some
band that the
ASMR?
whole world loves. We're gonna break them up. Now, if you don't mind, go hit up my solo
Yes,
album.
Exactly.
Like, what kind of bait and switch garbage is that?
I love it. 2012, Apple claims a value of $600 billion, making it the largest company by market capitalization in the world. Apple. Oh, you're killing it.
Yep.
Hey, speaking of people who are killing it, you know who wasn't killing in 2018? Mark Zuckerberg. The Facebook CEO begins testifying before U.S. Congress about data use and security. Yeah. That happened.
Juicy. It's so juicy. It's very, very unprofessional.
We're just gonna forget.
I
What
know.
else happened today? I don't know.
Normally, we save this for Foodie Friday.
We do.
We can do it on Thursday for sure. All right. Are we done with events for the day?
I think so.
Okay.
Titanic, the Beatles. Yeah, I think we covered it all.
Oh, this day in 2019, astronomers released the first ever image of a black hole.
Ooh,
Yeah, that
fascinating.
happened. All right, birthdays. What you got?
I got David Harbour at the top of this list
Hey, okay.
from
From the 6 o'clock open of the show.
yeah.
Mornings are for coffee and contemplation. That's David Harbour.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's from Stranger Things.
You mean really?
He's the sheriff in Stranger Things, right?
He is.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize
Season 1, back when the show was good, you know, when the kids were cute and whatnot. Mornings are for coffee and contemplation. That's where it came from.
It's all coming back to me. Brian, I've been producing this show for a little while.
A little over a year now.
Yeah.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Oh man, another actor, Charlie Hunnam, also today from Sons of Anarchy.
Okay.
Mandy Moore as well today. Anybody else on your end?
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking actors, you got Max von Sydow,
Yeah.
born on this day in 1929, and Omar Sharif, born on this day in 1932.
All right. I also have John Madden today.
I had John Madden on my list from the sports world.
Yep.
Also, while we're talking sports, I had, made me go back to my sports. Dag nabbit. Hang on. I apologize. Ken Griffey Sr.
Oh,
That's what I had right there. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh.
Deaths today. OJ Simpson.
Yeah.
Today. Yeah. Hey, did you see the trailer for the new Naked Gun?
No. I heard it was in the works.
Liam Neeson is, yeah. Anyway, there's in the trailer, there's a part with OJ Simpson. You just got to see it. Hilarious.
Okay, like Liam Neeson is low key funny.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
so
you gotta see
I
the
know, but
trailer.
like if you think Liam Neeson, you're thinking Taken, you know.
You're thinking really dramatic.
I will find you and I will kill you.
He's got such a deadpan when he does his comedy that
Yes.
makes it more hilarious.
Yes.
Speaking of comedy, Sam Kinison today.
Okay.
Death 1992.
Yeah. I'm not
Anybody
gonna do it. I'm not gonna do a Sam Kinison impression. I'm just now getting my voice back.
I was gonna say you might just lose it.
Yeah.
Lose it again. Let's see. Another actor as well, Kevin Peter Hall. You may not recognize his face, but he played the 7'2" actor played the Predator in the first Predator
Really?
series. Yeah. He's done a lot
Really?
of work like that behind the scenes as characters. But
Okay.
yeah.
Seeing Predator, of course, starred Jesse Ventura, and that's who I sounded
Yes.
like yesterday.
There you go.
There it is.
National days today. There's a couple. What about Golfers Day? You want to go
It's
with
the
Golfers
first day of the Masters. It's Golfers Day.
That's it.
We don't need any others. Today's the first day of the Masters.
Right.
So it's Golfers Day. Absolutely. 814 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Want to remind you about the folks over at Landmark Bank. Check them out at landmarkbankla.com. Landmarkbankla.com. Founded in 1897 as a community bank. Here in 2025, they are a community bank, still living out the very same mission that they have for over 100 years. Now, you're not going to find them in the heart of Baton Rouge. You're not going to find them in downtown Baton Rouge. Where you are going to find them is our surrounding areas. As a community bank, they're in the individual communities like Zachary, like Brewley, like Denham, like Greensburg. In fact, if you want a full list of all their branches, visit landmarkbankla.com. And while you're there, get up to speed on their services as well. As a community bank, you're going to have a banker, and that banker is going to help your dreams come true. Whatever it is you got planned, whether you're talking about buying your first home, buying your next home, whether you're talking about leaving your job and diving into the entrepreneurial world, launching a business, they've got you covered. Landmarkbankla.com. Quick break. We've got Ag Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain up next. What?
We're gonna knock him
We're gonna
off
knock
the air
Moon
today.
out his spot.
Yes.
Oh man.
Wouldn't that be fun?
No.
Yes, yes. Look, I can do that. I've known Moon 25 years.
Oh,
Right?
man.
Wouldn't that be fun?
It would, but both his listeners are going to complain.
I understand. I understand. You hear that, Moon, right? I hope you're listening. We're your friends.
Oh,
We're broadcasting from the Capitol on Monday.
Oh,
We're
good.
in the governor's press room.
Yes, yes.
So I'm gonna do my show from here.
Mhm.
He's doing a show from there, and then we're gonna tag team and do a show from 11 to 1, walking us all the way to the governor's opening remarks. We did it
Wow.
last year, it was phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
From a content standpoint.
Yeah.
Just churning legislators through.
Yeah.
Um,
So you're going to set up upstairs.
Fourth floor.
Yeah. Yeah. If you do it at Memorial Hall, it's got such a reverberation.
Too much.
Well, the governor's
there's
press
so
room
many
was
people there.
actually the Supreme Court. That was the Supreme Court chambers. They never moved in there.
You would know that.
Yeah.
That's
The
incredible.
fourth floor was for the Supreme Court. And so the library and the offices,
Yeah.
the governor's office, that was all for the Supreme Court.
I
Because
didn't know
when you go and you see the justice and the scales, and all that was the courtroom, and they refused to move, and they stayed at the building there in New Orleans. And Huey got so mad he wouldn't fix the roof, so it would rain on him. Yeah.
Let me see what time I'm supposed to have.
Okay. They are magnificent, and boy, they're good too. It takes more than one to determine how good they are. Gotta understand, right?
Yeah,
We're professionals.
Exactly.
And I had crawfish yesterday there at J. Bernard's in Cottonport. They boil 7,000 pounds an hour. 7,000. You ought to see the crawfish coming in. He buys, and he started off with a little grocery store selling crawfish bait. Him and his wife, 50 years ago. Yeah, we're talking about J. Bernard crawfish. Now it's him and his whole family, and they buy the crawfish. So when they come in from the farmers, they will grade them, and the select and double select will go for the live market, right? And then the selects will also go. They will whole boil and flash freeze. You can buy them in 3-pound bags. You just drop the bag into hot water, and then they go into the others go, to the peelers. They had 135 peelers working in there. It is impressive. And what I'm telling you, it was cleaner than an operating room.
Where are they?
Cleaner. Cottonport. You got it. You got to know how to get there too. I got lost twice with GPS. Twice. Then I recognized where I was.
817 Talk 173 FM WBRP. Don't tell the story off the air. Tell the story on the air.
Oh, yeah.
We got our Ed Commissioner, Dr. Mike
About
Strain,
getting
with
lost
us.
going to Cottonport?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir. We're talking crawfish. It's crawfish season.
Oh, yeah, they are. Yeah, they were incredible. We were there at J. Bernard and family, James and his whole family. They started off, his father had a little grocery store, and then him and his wife opened a bait shop probably 40 years ago. They boil today. They will be boiling 7,000 pounds of crawfish an hour. An hour. The trucks are coming in, and from the farmers as they're harvesting them, and so they have sell crawfish for the live market. So they will grade them and select them. So when you buy them, these are really, really nice ones. They also have flash frozen. They boil them, flash freeze. You can buy them in a 3-pound bag, ready to go with the seasoning, and you just drop it into boiling water for 10 minutes, and they're ready to go. 3 pounds. Now, most of those you can get them at your Rouse's, but most of those go to the Midwest out there. So I guess they can have their big steaks and their 3 pounds of crawfish. It's a huge market, for our crawfish. And then they go into the peelers where they're peeling them, so that you can have your crawfish tails for your etouffee.
Right.
They had about 130 workers in there. And I'm telling you what, when I'm telling you it is super clean. And as I said before, it's cleaner than most operating rooms. So everything is, and it's magnificent, and everybody's in there working those crawfish. Talk about it. But the best part, Mr. Bernard, he cooked lunch, right? And of course, it's crawfish etouffee on nice Louisiana. It's a medium Louisiana rice with the potato salad, right? And
potato salad with etouffee as well.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do it with the
I got
gumbo.
hooked on that
with the gumbo for sure.
Yeah. First time I had that with gumbo was Mr. Guillory, a dear friend of mine, Representative Guillory, and he cooked the gumbo and he put potato salad in the gumbo. And and I was a young legislator. Said, "What are you doing?" He said, "That's how we eat it here, son." I said, "Yes, sir. I'm right there." Yes, but it was a great day. But it shows you the size and the scope of the industry.
Yeah.
You think about that. The crawfish industry is going to hit $500 million, $500 million. And I'll be bringing my fellow ag commissioners from all the southern United States here. I'll be president for a second time of the Southern Ag Commissioners, and that'll be in the year 2028. And we're going to show them what aquaculture really is. When you think about aquaculture, we have more than 500,000, probably pushing 600,000 acres of aquaculture. 600,000 acres. That's oysters and crawfish and catfish, but mainly oysters and crawfish. And that's more than any other state in the union. It's huge, and it is growing exponentially. I'm telling you, the crawfish industry is on fire. We need to light the fire under the shrimp industry to get it growing. We're working hard to do that. Shrimp's very affordable. You can go today. You can go down, and again, I'll talk about Rouse's because I got one right next to the office. I was in there last night. Imagine that.
Okay.
So, but you can get some nice shrimp for under $5 a pound. Really nice shrimp, and you can get crawfish for $3.25 to $3.45, maybe $3.50 a pound today. And these are really nice. Now, and if you're going to have them boiled, they add another $1. But they also make where you can get a bag of seafood, right? And it'll have crawfish, it'll have shrimp, it'll have corn on the cob, have potatoes ready to go.
Yeah.
You know, for people like me, because I'm not going to go home and boil it with my house here by myself, right?
Mhm.
And then of course, you got to get those Louisiana strawberries. When you go into Rouse's, they are right. I took pictures of them last night. And I mean, look at these certified.
I've had
Louisiana
2 of them already.
strawberries.
They're unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. You got to
juicy,
start off with 2.
flavorful, sweet and tart at the
Well,
same
that's our
time. They're
job,
awesome.
you know.
Yeah.
So I'm the commissioner. I got to make sure that whole flat
Right.
is good, right?
Right.
So yeah, so we have to sample quite a lot, you know, and as you can tell, I do my job very well.
Yeah. Absolutely. I tell you what, Strawberry Fest is coming up this weekend in Ponchatoula.
Absolutely, we're going to be
All right.
there.
Y'all come on in
Y'all
here.
come on
We
in.
are
Y'all come on in.
live on the air right now. It's very unprofessional what we're doing here.
You want me to swap seats?
No,
or
no,
what's in
you
there?
stay there. They'll
Stay
come
right
around
there. This
here.
is my chair.
So here's what we're gonna do. Y'all don't know this is happening yet. Y'all were coming in for me to interview you about Strawberry Festival.
Yes.
No, I've got the foremost expert here, so I'm gonna stand down. There's nothing I can ask y'all that he can't.
You're right.
So you're about to be interviewed by Commissioner,
Oh God.
Ag Commissioner Dr. Mike Strange.
Oh, what?
You better bring
it's
your
normally
A
the
game.
other way around, right?
No, I'm gonna go eat.
Yes, you're
So,
going to go eat. Yes.
yeah.
Yes. I
You're
said
gonna go
yes.
eat, okay.
So how much time we got? A couple hours?
Oh wow.
8 minutes. Okay. That's fine. Well, good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
Great to see you. We are so excited. You know, we had Strawberry Day at the park, and that was a whole lot of fun, right? And
We
some
had
of
a
the
great time.
magnificent strawberries. Dr. Bill Wheat, I think, bought the champion berries, and of course he told me. And then I wasn't able to go there. I had another commitment, but he bought berries. I bought some berries, but I think put that up. But I think Dr. Wheat ate my strawberries. I can't prove it, but we said, you got to eat them pretty quick. I said, but you know what? Next time I'll buy his berries and I'll eat his berries, right?
I
But
will
they,
say he put up a fight with that paddle.
oh,
He
I
was
did.
not going home without the strawberries.
Oh no,
that
he's
day.
not going home. I tell you what, he is passionate. He and I went to school together.
Oh
Yeah,
really?
we went to
I
vet
didn't
school
know
together.
either.
Absolutely.
Did not know that.
That's right. That's right. And he's doing a fine
That
job.
makes sense why y'all are both so smart.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Tell us about the Strawberry Festival, and it begins tomorrow, right? At noon.
Tomorrow at
Noon
noon.
till
We
what,
open
about
our
10
doors.
p.m.?
Yeah, we'll go to 10:30. I think is our new
10.
Oh, 10. Okay.
10. 10.
I'm trying to continue the party 30 more minutes.
Oh, I understand. Well, yeah, the party goes on. Well, we've been partying.
Yeah.
You know,
we
leading
have.
up to the Strawberry Festival, of course, you know, we have Strawberry Day at the park,
Mm-hmm.
at Julian Dufresne Park, and it's just that day is incredible. It's a whole lot of fun. Then you have the Strawberry Ball. You have lots of things leading up to this, and then 3 days of all about strawberries in downtown Ponchatoula.
Yes.
You know, so tell us about it.
Yeah, so we open up on Friday at 12. Full head. We have tons of entertainment. We have our rides opening. Saturday we start at 9:30 with the parade.
That's
Of course,
right.
the grounds are going to be open, so if you would rather ride than watch, you're more than welcome to do that. Then we also have a full packed day, jam-packed, very jam-packed day of entertainment. And we have a strawberry eating contest in the middle of the day. Sunday we open at 9 with our church service. Then we go on. The actual rides are going to open at 10. We're going to have an egg toss that day, another strawberry eating contest. And then something new that we're doing this year, we're going to have an education square. So we really have something for everyone. If you're not interested in riding the rides, but you want to, have activities, win prizes, all of that's going to be for free. A bunch of local organizations are going to be putting that on in the giant square with the giant monument, the berry. So just got to look for that.
It's a whole lot of fun. Jazzy's going to be there.
Jazzy is gonna be there.
We'll be in the parade.
Jazzy is definitely a fan favorite
yeah.
of Tangibo Parish.
Oh, right. She makes me look good. Jazzy's there, and I'm right there, and we're having a great time. And, of course, Strawberry Day at the park. Yes. And you have the old car show, and that's one of my favorite parts, there. Plus, you have all these cooking contests that go on and all things. Any way you want to have strawberries.
They've got it.
Oh, what? So I want you to think about Ponchatoula, little sleepy Ponchatoula, Main Street and the park with 100,000 people.
And, people can get some of those desserts on 6th Street on Farmers Row because a lot of those farmers, they obviously are getting those flats together, but they're also making desserts, jams, anything you want out of strawberries. They've got it over there.
Well, you remember Miss Lucy, and she used to make the finest strawberry. She always made strawberry cake for me.
Yep.
The strawberry ice and strawberries on top.
Oh, my mouth's watering.
Oh, my gosh. Yes, I do miss Miss Lucy, but she was just iconic Louisiana strawberries. And it's a huge entity. It's a huge business
Definitely.
for our farmers. And we look at that direct economic value. It's what, $11, $12 million right there in Ponchatoula.
And I will say too, something I'm excited about. So we have over 60 food booths this year. A lot of them this year have switched to Louisiana seafood. Which is a
Excellent.
big
Oh yeah,
thing
that's
for
a
you
big
as
deal. Well,
So
Louisiana.
that's always
so
exciting.
when you saw when you brought in this flat, first thing I look for sweet Ponchatoula strawberries,
Yep.
right? Then on that side, certified Louisiana. And then I get to the strawberries, and I tell you what, there is. Look at these berries. Oh my gosh, but they're deep red.
Juicy.
And look, y'all, can y'all see this?
And they're sweet
It's-
this year too.
They are sweet. They're red all the way through.
Oh yeah.
These
That's
are
why I do that's why I do
absolutely
the strawberry
delicious.
eating contest because I just sit there and eat a bunch of good strawberries.
They're incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And to add to the Louisiana seafood, all strawberry items that are sold on our grounds are made with Louisiana strawberries.
Mhm.
No other strawberries.
Yep.
It's a big push about fresh, local, certified Louisiana products because, again, this builds the economy.
Yep.
And it helps our farmers, our fishermen, our shrimpers, our crawfish people, everyone. And, we want people to come here and taste this,
Yep.
then come back and buy more.
Yep.
Yep. So, and again, these are the finest strawberries in the whole wide world, right?
Yes, sir.
And we were talking, I guess earlier this morning, I was talking on a different radio show. I hate to tell you, but yes. And we were talking about, we take these and we put these on vanilla ice cream. On vanilla ice cream. What?
Yes.
What? Yes. And so now we got ice cream on the brain, strawberries on the brain. I may have to sneak over to Rouse's next to my building
I
and
may have to.
get some of that Bluebell vanilla ice cream, right? And you put those strawberries on there.
All you
Yep.
need
Oh.
is pound cake. I want
Yes.
some pound
Oh,
cake.
yes.
Pound
Oh,
cake
yeah.
with it.
Well, my mother for Easter, always strawberry shortcake, right?
Yep.
Yep. With some whipped cream and fresh Louisiana
Oh.
strawberries.
I just suddenly became hungry.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, one of our booths is selling strawberry shortcake this year, so you need to
Yes.
go check them out.
Really, and I'll tell you one
It's
of the
good
things
too. I go get it every year.
Dr. Wheat will do, and Representative Pugh before him, they'll buy literally a pickup truck load of strawberries
Yep.
and bring them to the Capitol.
Yes, they will.
And all those legislators, they get a pint on their
Strawberry
desk.
Day at the Capitol.
Yes, and it's just really good. Now, when Tank Powell and I were running together, we would bring strawberries to the mansion.
Oh.
So we
yeah.
would bring them there, drop them off at breakfast time, and for lunch, the governor and whoever would have strawberries. So
Yep.
one day, yes, no, we're not running out of time.
No,
are
we were at a 2-minute warning here.
Okay,
Now
so-
look, I realize I have y'all with the expert on the strawberry end, but we got to ask about entertainment as well.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. I can
Okay.
handle that. I actually am the entertainment coordinator this year. So
Tell
I
us.
was happy to book all of those bands. So we've got Friday, starting off with 3rd Street, Rhythm Chasers, Clay Cormier, Yeah, You're Right, and Kings of Neon closing us out that night. Followed up by Saturday, Nola Rouge, Lindsay Cardinelli, Brittany Jenkins Band, the Tyler Kinchin and All the Right Pieces, the Dominoes, the Peyton Falgout Band, Thomas Kane, and Paper
Wow.
Chase to close us out. That brings us to Sunday, which is starting off with Nashville South, the Drunk Uncles, Swampland Revival, Spank the Monkey, Rouge Crew, and closing us down is the Mixed Nuts.
That's incredible. And you bring your lawn chairs and everything. And you're right. Everything
Absolutely.
is right.
And it is going to be
there.
beautiful
It's
weather.
going to be beautiful weather. So much fun.
You don't have any excuses to not come out to the
No.
Punchbowl Strawberry Festival this
No,
weekend.
you better come because it's going to be a really, really, really fun time for family. It's a
Absolutely.
family event,
Absolutely.
right? And make sure you bring home some fresh strawberries, some jams, some jellies, and maybe some of Miss Lucy's type.
And
of
I do
cake.
have to throw this in there really quick because I feel like it's a problem that comes up every year. So people will go to downtown Ponchatoula. They won't even know about Memorial Park, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
But if you
You go down
find
6th
yourself,
Street, is that
if you
right?
find yourself in downtown Ponchatoula, please find your way to Memorial Park where we have
It's not
more.
that far.
and
It's just
more.
a couple
Yes,
blocks.
It's only a couple blocks.
And
You
it's
can
huge.
do it.
Yes, it's huge.
You can do
and
it.
everything is there. And the thing about all this entertainment and bands, you just sit right there, bring your lawn chair.
Absolutely.
Yeah, spend the
Well,
day.
thank you so much for having us.
Oh, I will see all of you on Saturday morning. We
can't
will be
wait.
there. Me and Jazzy having us a fantastic time.
Good.
Good.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank
Wow,
you.
y'all did well. Y'all did well.
Okay, now I have to
Oh, we
grab
gotta
this.
have
I
a
do have to
picture.
grab
Let's
this.
grab a picture.
Okay, great.
You gotta send that to Jenna. Me and
I've
you.
sent
Can you
it
take
out
one on my
like
phone as
6
well?
already.
Oh wow.
So,
Y'all come on.
for sure.
Y'all make us look good. Y'all get in the middle. There you go. Yeah.
You want me to send it to you, or do you want?
You send it to me.
Okay. Ready?
Thank y'all.
Okay, let me grab one of hers.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
All good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for
Good
having
seeing
us.
you.
So to finish the story with the governor, he called me and Tank in there. And he said, "Boys, we're in trouble." I said that. He says, "How many planes are in the flight?" Tank said, "Well, about 12." I said, "Why, when it gets to the mansion, there's only 10?" And Tank said, "It's a long way from Ponchatoula to the mansion."
You gotta have a road snack.
That's right.
Thank you so much.
Thank y'all. Thank you.
Kill Mike too.
That was fun.
I thought that would be more fun than.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Standard interview.
That's absolutely. Yes. Oh, these are really good.
They are so good.
They're incredible. Yep. The legislative session Monday. Whew. I mean, we're working fast and furious on all these fiscal notes.
Jen says she wants the group photo too.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, sure did. I sent it already.
It's going to be kind of wild, this legislative session. They're doing some controversial things. But you know, a thing, we are waking people up to local food and seafood.
Yes, absolutely.
That's a good thing.
I do need to let you know.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I have
sorry.
a. No,
I
it's
go
all
there
good.
too. I know it. It's right by.
You got Rouse's right next door to your office. I know.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
It's so easy. But I go to Mathern's too. Yep. Well, yeah. Well, you can slide me a note.
It's all good. It's all good.
Okay.
Everybody plays
Yep.
along.
Oh, I know. Mathern's got some yummy stuff.
They do.
Yeah.
They've been doing a thing at the campus location.
Yeah.
They
Really?
do a hot wing bar.
Really?
So yeah, you go to different all the different flavored chicken wings and whatnot.
Really?
Dude, I can't get enough of it.
Wow.
Can't get it. Now the downtown location, I love their salad bar. Their salad bar downtown.
I bet that campus location is busy because you got all those student apartments. You got students, and that's walking distance from the dorms. Really?
Yeah. It's disappointing.
By the students?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just walk in, fill up their backpack, and walk out. Brazen. I know.
Wow.
Yeah, they can have the koozies and the cups down the hall. We're keeping the strawberries.
Oh yeah. Yes. Y'all got to eat them. I've been eating them.
I want to go on Sunday.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
The mixed nuts. It's a high energy show.
Oh,
It's
really?
a very high energy show.
That's a lot of.
They're a cover band. They play a lot of 90s stuff, early 2000s, pop stuff and whatnot. But once they start going, it is just so ramped up, and like you're there, your adrenaline's flowing. You're like, where's the song that brings it down? Like, where's the song where we all get to catch our breath?
Yeah.
Where's the song where like I can go to the portalet and like use the restroom? No, once they're going,
they're going.
High adrenaline the whole way through.
That's cool. That's good, and that's really a true family festival, the Strawberry Festival.
Yes, it is.
You can
It's
park
one of the best
right
in the
there.
state.
It is
one of the best in the state.
Well, that would be hard to figure. Some, I guess, maybe the candied strawberries or stuff, but they make a lot of cakes and pies.
You can make.
Yeah.
There's a great.
Yeah, but the cakes. Oh, what? Yeah. Have you ever had a Zoe's strawberry cake? Zoe's out of Covington. Wow. What? Yeah, it's like, you can't describe it. It's yeah. It's just incredible. The knife kind of slides through it. She makes it about this thick, right? Oh yeah. We just call them Zoe cakes. Yeah, from Zoe's Bakery. Oh goodness. Yes.
Zoe's Bakery, another gem that didn't exist when I lived there.
No. Hardhide. After the alligator, Hardhide. Remember old Hardhide? Yeah, he was a big dude. That the Ponchatoula alligator.
They never did replace that alligator, did they?
Can't. No. It's one of those.
It's so
Yeah,
stupid.
I
It's
know.
an alligator just lays there. That's all he does.
Well, Hardhide did. He was happy, but
Yeah.
he lived to old age.
I know.
You know, he got to be over 40 years old.
Yeah.
All he had
basically
to
just-
do is rest and eat and sleep and swim a little bit. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Mike the Tiger in his $2 million house. Right?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. He has the life of Riley. Yes.
All right, we're looking at sunny skies today with a high of 83. Overnight low dips down to 59. Tomorrow we're going to top out at 80 with an overnight low of 48. Saturday, your high is only 77 degrees. I mean, you want to talk about perfect Strawberry Festival weather is
Short
Saturday.
sleeve weather, just be
Sure,
out.
yes,
Oh, my
absolutely. Remember
Yeah.
the sunscreen
Wear
because
your
it's
hat,
getting
wear
nice
your
and
hat.
cool.
Wear your
Absolutely.
hat.
Sunday, we're getting up to 82. Monday, we're back up to 85 again. But mid to low 80s is where we're at for the foreseeable future. No rain in the foreseeable future either. Right now, it's sunny at 63 in downtown Baton Rouge. $837 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We got Ed Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain in the house with us for the remainder of the show. I got to be the one that like kills the party, right?
I
come back
understand.
in,
I
come back
understand. Well,
in, bring it back all around.
Well, we've been in here eating strawberries. We've been doing a lot of crunching now.
It's gosh, so good. They're so
But
good.
you got to think about this. That's health food. It's healthy. It's nutritious. It's healthy. We're getting our vitamins.
We're getting
right?
vitamins for sure.
That's why we. That's why. Yeah.
There
Can't
are
be bashful.
health benefits to going local as well. When you talk
Absolutely.
about, we was talking about with local honey.
Yeah.
But the same is true for everything that comes from our
Absolutely.
local earth. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's good
Yes.
for us. We do have a couple of other topics to cover this morning, though. Can we talk about trade, tariffs,
Yes.
all that, how that incorporates back
Well-
into your world?
Well, what you've seen, for us, we're in the commodity business. If you talk about corn, beans, rice, cotton, and the majority of grains that are exported from the United States, the entirety of the United States, come through Louisiana.
Mhm.
So anytime you're talking trade deals, all of that, it can have a market effect. What we've seen is that you saw yesterday when the president said, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do a 90-day pause. We're going to start negotiating for fair trade deals, except with China. The market went up almost 3,000 points.
Right.
Just in an hour. Because it started off down. And so all of this, we start talking about we're going to negotiate. Many countries put tariffs against us, but we didn't have tariffs against them. Unlevel playing fields. And it drains those. When you have unfair trade deals, it drains the wealth of America. And the president said, we're going to get this. We're going to level this out. And so, initially, if you look at it, our commodity prices have went down some, but not significantly.
Mhm.
So it'll be, depending on the country, depending on the crop, but also at the end of the day, here's the other caveat to that. The world is consuming more grain
Yes.
than it's producing consistently now. So we're the largest exporter of grain in the world, largest exporter of food in the world.
Mhm.
Talking about Ukraine being the breadbasket of the world, we
Yeah.
export twice as much. So the world needs our products. And so, that's part of that. What we are doing is that we are going to be working very hard on negotiating trade deals and looking at diversifying our trade and not really concentrating on a few very large customers.
Well, and it's just the way it was going into yesterday before he put the 90-day pause for negotiation and whatnot. It was so blanketed. It was
Yeah.
so all encompassing. So how much of when you take the world of agriculture, when you take the food that we eat, we ship out a lot more than we take in. There's very, very, I mean, the things we take in, we take in because we want to.
Actually, because of our monetary issues, for the first time in 60 years, the last 3 years, we have imported more than we've exported.
Really?
And negative balance of trade due to the devaluation of foreign currencies against our dollar.
Okay.
But two, and it's really not in net bushels as much as it is in net dollars. And so, normally on any given year, we would have a $30 to $50 billion positive balance of trade. Now we're going to see a $30 to $40 billion imbalance of trade. The United States has $1 trillion imbalance of trade across the board. We've got to correct that.
Right.
Because it drains the wealth of a nation. Trade needs to be balanced, period. And so, American dollar has been too valuable against foreign currencies. The foreign currencies have been so markedly devalued, right? That caused worldwide market instability. And that was for several reasons. One, America was printing money and spending so much money abroad, it devalued their currency.
Right.
And so we've got to get that back in line. So when we deal, with the interest rates, we do with trade, we do with tariffs, do all these things, and you've seen the foreign currencies coming back up. The British pound, the euro, the Japanese yen, the Chinese yuan. The Chinese money, the yuan yuan, as you say, is the lowest it's been in 27 years. That's how devalued it is. And we need to get these currencies more level because we import based on their money, right? We're buying in their money. We export based on dollars.
Right.
So if the currencies are imbalanced, it's more difficult for us to export and more easy for us to import. And so we're buying cheap stuff, but they're taking American dollars that needs to be circulating in our economy, right? When something is produced here, that money circulates 5 to 7 times in our economy.
Yes.
You send that money there, it circulates in their economy.
Right. That's why we talk about going local for everything.
Absolutely.
Right. When you talk about, you have Black Friday, the Small Business Saturday. We're always pushing that local end on the Small Business Saturday after Thanksgiving. The same is true year round with our commodities as well.
Yes.
And not just here for Louisiana,
but now you're looking at what's happening. You see all this industrial development, right? When Hyundai building a steel mill, we are seeing where CF Industries is building a blue ammonia plant.
That's correct.
All these massive multi-billion-dollar manufacturing facilities. And you wonder, so why are they coming to Louisiana? It's pretty darn simple. We have the river. We have natural gas. We have energy. We have water. And we have the ability to move things, commercially. But water and energy and the ability to ship by water and all the interconnecting things. And with that grows our ports, grows our economy. But X marks the spot, and it's here in Louisiana.
We got our Ag Commissioner, Dr. Mike Strain. If we walk down that path for just a minute, we didn't have it on the rundown, but when you mentioned the blue ammonia plant, when you mentioned Hyundai, there is a 10-mile stretch of the Mississippi River around Donaldsonville. It's being turned into the River Park Megaplex. I always get the name wrong. It sounds like a fireworks stand, whatever it is, but
I understand.
It's huge.
Yes.
It's ginormous. It's a huge chunk of land as well.
Yes. So you will get displacement of the ag land.
Right.
And especially if it's with sugar, what we're seeing, sugar moving north. I was in Cottonport yesterday, and they're raising sugar cane as far as Cottonport. So you're going to see land actually going out of pasture or out of fallow, going into sugar. And because we have sugar is on a quota, but acre for acre, that sugar is going to be replaced and will probably come out of land that is currently used more for pasture land. And then secondarily, maybe if there's any cotton that's planted on the lower, below Cottonport, below Alexandria. When you hit Alexandria and Bunkie, that's kind of the highest we can go with sugar because it's temperature sensitive.
Okay.
Now they're developing more temperature resistant sugar cane.
Okay.
That's something LSU's been working on. But sugar is stable, and we have stable acreage, and we have very, very, very good production. And so, but those plants, but you're talking about, if you're looking at the industrial plants that have been announced, you're talking about 2,000, 2,700 acres per facility overall. So if you look at the last three, the Meta facility on 1,700 acres.
Right.
If you're looking at CF Industries and then looking, at Hyundai, you're probably looking at 2, 4, maybe 5,000, 6,000 acres. But sugar is on about 450,000 acres.
Okay.
So it's a small, you're talking about,
we're not really
1.5%. Now every ag acre is precious, but if you look at, these big industrial facilities, where you have 110 to 200 jobs or more at $100,000 each, that's a big deal in this part of the state.
And when you look at, everything in economics is a trade-off, right?
Everything.
So
Yes.
if you're going to add Hyundai, you have to subtract something. And I just this is not a
You'll see
one-to-one
shift
trade.
in acres.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
But it's huge.
All right. Well, that was one of the curiosities I had as a back burner when the announcement was made. I'm like, I wonder what Dr. Strain says about that. But moving north. Hey, quick question. This might be a dumb question about Cotton Port.
Beautiful.
Is it a port?
Actually, yes.
Really?
Yes, there is. And
They're nowhere near the river.
Oh, but no. There is a big bayou right through the middle of Cotton Port. And that at one time was a hub for cotton production there.
Well, I assume
it was. I mean, you got the Cotton Port Bank and all. It was a huge hub. It's a massive industrial agricultural area. And so there's a big waterway right through the center. And I've been through all of that. Yeah, that's you need to see it. It's magnificent.
All 6 blocks of town.
That's right. That's right. All 6 blocks of town. But I tell you what, they got it going on. But it's like stepping back in time. You need to go and visit.
Yeah.
But if you look at the original waterways, like the Tesh is one of the original waterways.
No,
the Tesh itself, right, where goods were moved up and down. And of course, a lot of things changed when we put the levees on the Mississippi River. A lot of waters were rerouted.
Okay.
For commerce, things did change.
I got you now.
You see, but before, most of those all emptied into the Red or to the Mississippi or whatever. But yes, there were ports, and I've been to some of these little ports. They're small ports, and you say, look, this is an odd looking building, and you realize that's where they used to load cotton bales onto steamers, small steamers, to bring them on down.
Steamer would go to Bayou, Bayou would go to River, River would go to New Orleans, New Orleans to the world.
And you think about here, right next door in Plaquemine, they got the big locks and everything.
Oh,
know?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was a big deal. And now you look at the mighty Mississippi. And, of course, we're talking about dredging the Red, bringing that up. Colfax, I mean, that's a port, or was a port, above Alexandria and all these things. And, of course, that's trade and economics. The future of industrial anything, agriculture, industry, populations where we have water.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have it. And Texas
it's amazing how in this ever-changing world of logistics, that which started it is still relevant today.
Always. Yeah, if you look at the early development here in this, and you know who settled up and down the Teche, huh? It's more the Parisian French.
Okay.
So, you had the different waves of migration. You had the Creoles and the Cajuns. But when Louis Philippe, when he fell during the time, him and Marie Antoinette, the more wealthy Parisians that had to leave, right? The court, they all settled on the Teche. They were given land grants.
Okay.
I was actually at a family farm on the Teche, and on the mantelpiece was a shoe. I said, "What's that?" So, well, the great-great-great-great-grandmother was a lady in waiting to Marie Antoinette. On her shoes, she had 2 diamond buckles. One bought her freedom and her passage to America. The second buckle bought the plantation.
Don't forget to visit talk1073.com. The Dreams Come True Radiothon presented by the Baton Rouge Clinic is going on right now. Love this partnership with Miss Becky and Dreams Come True. Help bring a dream to fruition. Help make a dream come true for a Louisiana child who's battling life-threatening illnesses. We've got a stack of sponsors that are matching your donations up to $2,000. You can get more on that when you make your donation at talk1073.com. He's Ed Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain. We're going to close it out right after this quick break.
Yeah, I actually put my hand on that shoe. That's a true story. That's crazy. Yeah. When we left France, I think the only thing we had was a canvas sack. But one part of my family fled the terrorists, and that is the Debassier, or you may know it as Bossier, or Boissier.
Yeah.
Right. I'm a descendant of Joseph Saint-Ange Debassier. Right. And so, and so they had to leave because their father, Dr. Debassier, sent many a person to the guillotine, and he sent his sons to the islands, but because he feared retribution. Yeah. Then on the Marriage side, I think my great-great-great-grandfather, he must have done something to the mayor's daughter because he had to leave quickly with nothing.
You always wonder about that history, right?
What they didn't write down.
Did you get those girls' names? No.
Make sure, no.
I just knew people were coming in from the Strawberry Fest.
Yeah. No. Yeah, we'll have to find out.
I'll ask Brett.
Yeah.
What else are we supposed to cover today? Oh, pecans.
Pecans. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
they're
no,
good.
Elmer's chocolate for Easter.
Elmer's chocolate. Have you ever been to Elmer's?
No, when you.
Oh, it's impressive. When you go in there, you breathe in, you're in chocolate heaven. Oh, it's one. What? And to watch him make that candy, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Yes. Heavenly Hash, strawberry, Heavenly Hash, gold brick eggs.
Give me gold brick egg all day
my
long.
Gosh.
I was a Heavenly Hash guy
And
for the longest time.
Dark
but
chocolate gold brick egg.
Yeah.
Or the dark chocolate Heavenly Hash. Yeah. My grandmother used to bake and make Heavenly Hash from scratch. From scratch. You talk about
That's
rich.
impressive.
Oh yeah. You talk about rich, but oh my gosh. Yes.
That marshmallow down the middle.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Think about the genius of them making those Heavenly Hash eggs, right? Yeah.
I love it. I can have a few Heavenly Hash throughout Easter season, but you give me a gold brick egg, I'm a happy camper. It's just pure chocolate.
It is
with a little bit of nuts.
Little nuts in there, and they make a gold brick like not a sauce, but it's like thick to put on ice cream.
What was it called? Gold brick?
Gold brick, yeah. The
okay.
gold brick. Elmer's makes it, and you scoop it out. Yeah, it's in a jar.
I used to have that as a kid all the time. I could not tell you the last time I had that, but it would harden on the ice cream.
Yes.
Yeah, it came in a little jar.
That's right. They
jar
got
that like the jar was like, but the jar was way too thin.
Yeah.
You couldn't get the tablespoon in there. You had to get out with a teaspoon.
They got a pretty good jar now.
Okay.
It's a nice jar. Yeah. I've had practice.
But you didn't want to pour it because it would pour too much. You'd want to spoon it on, and it would harden on the ice cream. And
people need to start eating more ice cream. No, I'm serious, because a lot of people aren't getting the calcium they need.
Okay.
Ice cream. Yeah. You and I gotta fight osteoporosis.
Is that
ice cream with Elmer's candy on
is
top?
Is that what? Is that the
I believe
we're
that.
rolling with?
Yeah, that's my story, and we're gonna stick to it, right?
Absolutely. Hey, I got to record an interview at 9:15. So when we're done, Britt hasn't texted me back yet. Wait, Ellen, let me text Ellen. I've been trying to get hold of Clint Quinlaw from Ascension Parish.
Yes. How's he doing?
I don't know yet. I'll find out in about 20 minutes from now. But so win after win after win at economic development.
Absolutely. Because why? We got the assets.
Yeah.
And look at our universities are right here. That's a big deal.
So
a community college. I mean, look, BRCC, RPCC. Yeah.
It's going to be.
Yeah. That's to train the workers for these plants. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's amazing. You cross the bridge, you look at all the industrial, I mean, it looks like Kuwait, right? For all the oil refineries and everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when they made that ITEP announcement last year that they were getting rid of the jobs requirement that goes along with it, I was a little bit torn.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a part of me was like, okay, is every chemical plant going to come in here and every day is going to be about protesting pollution? But that's not the way it's played out. The way it's played out is we've gotten more jobs by getting rid of the jobs requirement.
Yeah.
Because
that's a clawback. The job requirement was a clawback. Right. And so for the investors, they said, because you have to look at clawbacks or something you got to be very careful of, because once you get going, if there's a hiccup, right now you got to pay money back and you got to go back to your creditors.
Right. So, but there was also, it was at having that hanging over their heads, saying if you don't meet your jobs requirement, now you're going to lose whatever.
And it does. I've seen that where they claw back significant amounts of money if you don't hit those numbers.
When Stephen Moray was here, he did it a lot.
I know.
It's because there were promises made, and then if they weren't held up on the other end, and nobody ever reported on it when Moray did his job, going back and saying nope.
Yeah, I remember it well. Yeah. Stephen Moray. Yeah, I've worked with him. He was a great guy. Well, he still is a great guy, but yeah, we work well with all the economic development people.
Yeah, Moray was super smart.
Very,
I like him a lot.
Very, very smart. Yep.
But yeah, like you'd have Jen don't get the blame for all of it. Like if the company didn't live up to, what was the chicken farm didn't
Foster Farms.
Yeah. I believe they had to pull money back from them because they weren't hiring at the right time, at the right pace.
That's right.
Yeah.
Didn't have the growth that they had promised, but
somehow
they're rocking and rolling.
Yeah, they are now. But like somehow the story was they didn't live up to their promises, but they got all the tax breaks. It's like, no, the tax breaks were taken away from them because of that. So,
it was like, I think, what, $25 million. It was significant. Yeah.
All right. 856 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. We got about 4 minutes left, 3.5 minutes left with our Ag Commissioner, Dr. Mike Strain. Dr. Strain, we are, what, a week and a half away?
Yes,
from Easter Sunday?
Oh, from Easter Sunday. Absolutely.
Yes.
Time for local pecans.
We've gone,
right?
we've gone too far when I talk about candy.
Oh, what? Yeah, you get those local pecans, whether they're the Bajerons or they are the Little Eva or Cane River. And of course, you've got to have that when you make your homemade desserts.
Mhm.
And of course, you can buy them that's already chocolate covered or carob covered, and
I'll tell you what I like.
Sugar coated.
Yeah.
Oh, delicious.
So Cane River, that's where I get my meat pies.
Oh yeah.
So
yes.
Mammy's meat pies is a staple here on Talk 107.3 FM.
When we travel, whenever I'm traveling, I'm stopping, right?
Yeah.
You may have seen that we went up to Alexandria, and I don't know what happened, but I got pulled into Billy's for some boudin balls.
Yeah.
Going there and coming back. I tried to resist, but the truck just turned in, and I had to get the regular boudin balls going. But again,
wait, which Billy's? The
pepper
one by
jack.
the interstate or the one off of 190?
One in Krotz Springs.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. Get the pepper jack stuff.
Pepper
boudin balls.
jack.
All right.
Boudin
No,
balls.
but wait. Let me refocus here. We're running out of time. Easter's coming up.
Yes.
You know that Easter basket's got to be filled with Elmer's.
Elmer's candy, Ponchatoula. And I tell you what, last time I was there, they gave me the grand tour.
Mhm.
And again, that place, when I'm telling you, that is a magnificent, and I'm just awed at looking how they make the candy. But you've got heavenly hash, you have dark chocolate heavenly hash, you have gold brick, and you and I were talking about the gold brick candy that's in the jar that you label over ice cream.
Yeah.
And then they have all these different flavored chocolates, anything you can imagine. And to watch it going on in there, and it's just magnificent. They've got a lot of different varieties of candy, but it's right here.
Right.
Ponchatoula, Elmer's Candy. And they've been around, for well over 100 years. Started off, I think, in New Orleans.
Okay.
They had a manufacturing plant in New Orleans, and they moved over here a long time ago. But yeah, it's got to be Elmer's, in my Easter basket.
Yeah.
Right.
The heavenly hash is
that
a
mom's
go-to.
going to have for me. Right. Yeah. And my
heavenly
wife will
hash
have
is a go-to. I'm a gold brick guy. You know what I could do once or twice around Easter? I could do a pecan egg.
Yes.
Oh,
they're very, 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 very good.
Them little packets of diabetes, man.
Oh,
They're so good.
That's good. You got to splurge once in a while.
Yes.
Yeah, and don't forget Bluebell ice cream with it.
Well, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
He's our Commissioner, Dr. Mike Strain, joins us about this time every month to bring us up to speed on the world of agriculture. We always appreciate the time.
It's a lot of fun. Thank you. We had a lot of fun today. Don't forget the Strawberry Festival.
All this
weekend. And get your Elmer's
Ponchatoula.
candy. Let's get ready for Easter. Strawberries, crawfish, shrimp, crabs. Oh my goodness.
Awesome.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yum yum. Right.
Oh
yeah. You didn't go to Gridiron, did you?
No.
They roasted the poor old ag commissioner. Oh my goodness.
Oh, did they?
Oh.
So
yeah, on sampling seafood. So they had me sit and I'd be eating a gumbo. Say, "Pooh, yeah, that's imported." And that was hilarious. And they say, he's an export on sampling seafood. Just look at him. They died. That was hilarious.
Gridiron used to come on and promote the show on this show.
Yeah.
And then they stopped. I don't know why.
They got to re-energize it. It's only one night now.
I know.
We got to kind of reinvigorate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Facebook. We'll see you all tomorrow.